now. The runners, about 5,000 of them again this year, will be leaving from the starting line here in Druid Hill Park. They kind of wind their way through the curves of the old park here in Baltimore. They leave the park, eventually running through neighborhoods like Waverly. They run past the side of the old Memorial Stadium, down 33rd Street, and then they get out to Lake Montebello, around the lake. At that point, they're at about 5 miles. And there's all kinds of water stations set up around Lake Montebello, which is good because by that time they need it.
Yeah, they definitely do. And they need some more fuel. Yeah. There's like the gel packs.
That's right.
And some food for them. And Lake Montebello, where you turn around, that is you ask a lot of runners that run in this 10-miler, that's their favorite part because this is not a very easy course.
No.
There's a lot of hills involved. It's a tough course. But around Lake Montebello, it's flat. So you recharge, you get your food, but you also, you're running flat ground. So it's very nice, and you can kind of cruise around the lake. And then when you make that turn, one of the more fun aspects of this 10-miler is you come back and you see the other waves of runners passing you by, cheering you on, making sure that you kind of have that mental boost to get through your final half of this race.
Dave Burdan talked about that. He's won 3 out of the last 4 Baltimore 10-milers, and as he's well ahead of most of the pack, by the time he makes that turn around Lake Montebello and is coming back down 33rd Street the other way, the vast majority of the runners are still going east on 33rd, so that gives him a charge to keep going. It excites him, and that's what it's like for the other runners as they come around that turn, and they just come back the way they came, right through Waverly, back in Druid Hill Park. And you talked about the hills, Sean. Some of the hills are late, so you've already run 8-9 miles, and now you're running up a hill. It's a difficult challenge for these runners coming up today.
Yeah. Okay, so I think right now we're going to toss it out to some of our other members of the WMAR2 team, Eric Taylor and Mark Roper. They are actually at the turn, Lake Montebello. Guys, good morning.
Good morning. This is Mark's first 10-miler, and he calls Lake Montebello the oasis.
It is like an oasis in the city of Baltimore. It's beautiful out here. We've got a beautiful weather, Eric Taylor.
Yeah, excellent weather conditions here for the 10-miler this morning. Temperatures hanging out generally in the 60s on Weather Source 1. If we could take that computer, you could see the temperatures downtown. No rain to talk about, and really not much in the way of humidity nor bugs. No mosquitoes out here too much this morning. Comfortable conditions. The 10-miler itself on Weather Source 2 looks pretty good. We'll start out with temperatures in the 60s. We'll head up into the 80s by the time we hit noon underneath mostly sunny skies. We're seeing the water crew getting ready here back in turn 2. As you come up Old York Road, of course, that's where we hit that big old hill before you get into the flatlands here of the park. And Mark, what are you noticing about, that's a lot of water, right?
Well, it's a lot of water. I was noticing the donuts earlier myself. But there's donuts, there's coffee, Gatorade for the runners, so hopefully there'll be enough Gatorade for all the people who come out here today. And I think we lucked out. This seems like the best spot for the 10-miler today.
Yeah.
The halfway point, we get to see people as they're halfway through the race.
We got restrooms, and we also got we got some drinks out here this morning as well. So definitely the best part of the course, also the flattest part of the course. Once you come up that meaty hill coming out of Old York Road and then eventually coming around the turn here, you start to get into the home stretch like Christian was saying at the top of the show. This is around mile marker 5, and then we start to finish it out from here, and it's kind of back and forth over those hills getting back into the park down there by the zoo. So really tough course out here, but definitely a cool scene. A lot of volunteers, a lot of folks out here from ASA getting things done and putting that water together, hopefully for a great race.
I'd almost say that it's downhill from here, but I guess it's a little bit of uphill.
A little bit of both.
But mentally, you could say it's downhill from here. So once you get to this point, I've almost made it this far, not that much farther to go.
Definitely got to be mentally tough for this 10-mile.
Mentally challenged.
Do you think we want to take a lap before things get going?
I may need to prepare if we're ever going to do this ourselves to take the 10-miler challenge ourselves.
Definitely.
We'll have to think about that.
Definitely some good advice. But for now, here, great weather for the start of the race. We'll send it back over to you guys at the desk.
Just as a warning to Mark and Eric, not unprecedented. We had Mallory Sofaste run the 10-mile course, come back here and do interviews after. She looked like she'd just had a morning walk. She was fine.
Yeah.
So it can be done, by the WMAR2 News staff as well. Be careful what you wish for.
But he was talking about the donuts. You might want to pound a couple donuts, get that sugar rush,
carbo load,
make that lap, and then you're good.
Then you're good.
Just
to
don't
go.
crash. Right.
So, and this race, I mean, it's become a real institution here over the past 12 years, and it raises a lot of money for a lot of important local charities, including the Signal 13 Foundation. What that does is, Signal 13 is when an officer needs assistance. That's the call that goes out over the police scanner when a police officer's in trouble. So the name of that foundation is a reference to that, and what they do is they help police officers when a police officer needs financial assistance. So they raise money for when an officer or the officer's family has trouble. They can help with that. And one thing that the organizer of the race, Lee Corrigan, has talked about is how much love there is between the people who come out here and run the race and all the Baltimore police officers that help out along the route. It takes a lot of officers to block the traffic off and make sure that everybody stays safe along the 10-mile course. And in that role, they're also interact with a lot of the runners here, and the runners always talk about what a great relationship that is. So that's one of the charities benefiting here from the Baltimore 10 Mile, the Signal 13 Foundation.
Yeah, and one of the things that they do in this race is they put the fastest police officer at the back of the pack, right? And for every runner that officer passes during the 10-miler, they donate $1 to Signal 13. So there's some incentive to run fast. Yeah, what a great cause. Signal 13, one of the charities that this great race benefits. And there's a few more. Maryland Zoo,
right?
Obviously.
We're right outside the Mansion House, the historic Mansion House at the Maryland Zoo. Maryland Zoo is the third oldest zoo anywhere in the country. It's been here forever. It's an institution here in Baltimore, and we're just getting into the summer season. Families joining up, becoming members. There's a lot going on here. The new African exhibit is opening up soon. They had a major renovation that's just about done. A couple weeks from now, that'll be fully available to the public. So a lot going on with the Maryland Zoo. But this race, the Baltimore 10-miler, benefits the Maryland Zoo as well, and that's where we are.
And hopefully we can I'm pretty sure we're going to get a look at a medal over the next couple hours. And the medal this year, it always features an animal from the zoo. This year it's the giraffe.
The giraffes are there,
I think
too.
they're wearing sunglasses or something. I didn't
well,
know
there's
happens,
that beach theme is
there you go.
infused in the whole thing. Mark Raganey's Family Trust Fund is also another beneficiary of the Baltimore 10-miler. He, of course, the young man who was injured while setting up for a race quite a while back with Lee Corrigan and his team as well. And the BFG Community Foundation, their mission as well here in Baltimore is assisted by the Baltimore 10-miler. So it's really, and those are the ones that we name as beneficiaries from the actual race itself, but that almost leaves out all these other ones who participate.
No doubt.
For example, Athletes Serving Athletes is here with runners, with people who are unfortunately are not mobile, but they have a wingman that pushes the runner around the 10-mile course, motivating each other, and this is one of their big events of the year as well.
Yeah. So right now we're about 20 minutes away from getting this race started. We are going to toss it over to the start-finish line now, where Megan and Lynette are standing by. Good morning.
Okay.
Hello. I know you think we're waving at you, but we are actually swatting bugs. It is very buggy here at the start line.
It is. It is funny. At the station, we actually have a graphic called the skeeter meter.
Oh, I love the skeeter meter, yes.
And the skeeter meter is very high just at this location this morning.
I think we need to go warn the runners not to run with their mouths open in this section, or they might be getting a mouthful of bugs. But we're doing our best to swat them away.
We are, yeah. And we have two meteorologists here once again. You guys already heard from Eric. Weather-wise, again, a fantastic day to do some running out there. As we continue through the rest of today, we're going to start to warm things up a bit, but the humidity level is going to stay on the lower side.
That's wonderful news. And we know there's at least one runner who is really appreciating the fact that it's low humidity, and that's our pal Sid Bush. Sid from Charleston, South Carolina. We're so glad to have you. I don't think the 10-miler would be what it is without you running it. When you stop, we're going to stop, okay?
Exactly.
We're gonna
I hope to go on in some capacity for a while longer.
All right, so for anyone who has not heard what you do and why you do it, tell us a little bit about why you're here today.
I do all my races in honor of young men and women who have lost their lives either in the military or in police force or fire department, and I present my medal to the family as my way of showing their loss is not going unnoticed.
Oh, my goodness. And you are a retired Navy yourself.
Retired Navy, 26 years submarines.
Oh, well, Thank you for your service. So, I mean, and you're 73 years old. It's amazing. You run marathon after marathon, half marathons, 10 milers. I mean, you do it all, and it's all for these fallen soldiers.
Yeah, it's the only reason I do this is to honor them. I just couldn't sit still and see their names not being mentioned. And I figured by running with their pictures on my back, at least other people would notice them and be able to realize that there are people like this who give their lives so we can live in a free country.
So why don't you turn around? We'll see who you're running for. Here, come this way. Turn the other way.
This way.
All right, there we go. So tell us who you're running for.
I'm running for a police officer, Craig Chandler, who's 27 years old and was involved in a high-speed pursuit, lost control of his car, and he died 6 months later, leaving behind a wife and 2 children, and also a Colonel Colin, and I'm having a senior moment,
Okay.
but
Yes. What do we have? We had the Baltimore police officer Craig Chandler, and we have Major Cornell Gilmore.
Yes. Sorry, Mr. Gilmore.
No problem.
But he was in the U.S. Army and was killed in Iraq serving the country. So my mission is to finish the 10-miler in their honor.
Very good. Well, here, you can turn back around. Sure. Thank you so much. All right. Well, we're going to be cheering you on right here.
All the help I can
you got this. You got
At least the humidity's lower than it is in Charleston, right?
Compared to Charleston, this is almost long-sleeve shirt weather.
I know. How are you feeling this morning?
I feel good right now. The humidity is really low, and my age, heat and humidity kill me.
I can imagine. Yeah. So how long will we have you? Will we have you back here next year as well?
Oh, definitely.
Okay,
I'll
awesome.
be back here.
Oh, you made my morning. I'm good.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I guess that means we're coming back then next year, right? All right.
Oh, it'd be great.
Sid, we'll let you get to the start line. Thank you so
Good luck.
much. Good luck.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Bye, Sid. All right. Oh, he just makes my morning every time I
I know.
talk
We
to
always
him.
ask for him. Like,
We
when
do.
we know we're doing this, we're like, is Sid coming?
We won't do
We're
it
in.
unless Sid is here. Our bosses are like, I don't think so. But
Awesome. I'm waiting for the music.
yeah, where's the music? We can't dance without music.
And we're starting already.
Well, I mean, I want to, but, you know, here we go. Here we go. I'm dancing to the beat in my own
You
head.
know what? I wasn't here last year. I missed you. I
You
saw you and
weren't.
Eddie. Eddie did a good job, though.
He
you
did.
broke him in.
He did.
You know,
Yeah.
but
I broke him in.
I'm back, and
Yeah,
we're going to
my
get this party
dancing
started, right? So, yeah, so exciting times. Again, I was so nervous about the weather because last year, like, I watched you guys on television, and
muggy.
yes, it was quite muggy.
Yeah.
So we have a gem, a treat for this morning, and I know the runners are loving it. You can see them warming up right now. They've been doing it all morning.
They're getting ready.
So, yeah, so it's going to be a good day
We
for
see
them.
the athletes serving athletes getting ready. So
They're
we got?
one of my favorites, too, the
Yes,
athletes serving athletes.
They're good stuff. All right, so we got 15 minutes. Should we send
Yes.
things back over to Christian and
Yes.
Sean?
Sounds like a plan.
Take it away, boys.
Okay, Lynette and Megan, we're going to get back to them for the start of the race now in 15 minutes.
Sid Bush,
Incredible.
his journey and his mission, and you're charged up for the rest of the day.
Right.
What an inspiring man he is, and what he does. You know, I was speaking with him yesterday during the 5 and 6 o'clock, or during the 5 o'clock broadcast here on WMAR2. He had tears in his eyes. He is one of the most genuinely just nice people that you will ever meet, and so happy to have him back here in Baltimore. He says he loves this course.
And you heard him say in the interview he's coming back next year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's terrific. It's a great commitment that he's made. And when you talk to him, it's not surprising that he's the type of guy that would make that commitment.
And he runs these races all over the country,
Yep.
all over the world, he said. So cheers to him,
Spread that
and
message.
can't wait to see I can't wait to see Sid Bush carrying that flag during the national anthem today and during the race.
All right. We have a new member of the WMAR2 News team, and she is joining us for this year's Baltimore 10 Mile, and that is Erin McPherson. She is right near us here in Druid Hill Park at what is right now mostly an empty green lawn. That is going to change very soon. Erin, how's it going?
Well, right now we are in the Runners Village, and people are trying to make their way to the start line, but we have a big group of people here. I mean, you can't miss them when you're walking through. Just take a look. We were talking about how the theme is giraffes this year, so they took this theme to the next level. Now, this group is...
We're the Howard County Moms Run This Town, so we're Moms Run This Town and She Runs This Town, MRTT, SRTT.
And this group, now this is only a small group. I mean, we only have, about a dozen of you here right now?
I believe there are 50, maybe more of us here today at the race. Most of us are wearing some type of Moms Run This Town paraphernalia. There's some ladies over there that we keep trying to signal to come over this way. You see how they've got the same shirts on. So there's at least 50 of us.
Now, all of you are here to run this race today. Now, they were telling me that this is something they do all the time, get up dark and early and go on runs together.
We do. So a lot of the ladies here, we meet at 5:30 in the morning a couple days a week to go for runs. So this is like late for us.
Late for them, not so much for me.
That's why we all look super wide awake.
Well, and so have you guys, you said you've ran this race before.
This is my third time. I don't know about, this is my third time running this race. I think most of the ladies, second, third. I think we have some newbies. I think we have Sujin, this is her first race ever. First race ever. Baltimore, this is her first B10. So last year we were dressed as polar bears, year before as flamingos, because we have to be, with the theme. It's very important to us.
And you do a great job. I mean, you guys look amazing. How are you feeling going into this race today?
Yeah, we feel awesome. Come on. It is like this weather is amazing. It's like not too hot, obviously not too cold. Last year was brutal heat. So we're like super excited. The sun maybe will not come out, and that's a good thing. So it's all good.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. You look amazing. And you said that you make these skirts for everyone, right? Okay. Make the skirts. Awesome.
She made the skirts. She has on Etsy Comfort Run. We have to be
gotta get a plug in there.
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. You look amazing. Good luck. Have so much fun. We'll see you after the race. Now we'll be out here. I mean, all these runners are really just taking a little mingle around here, but they're all heading to the finish line, and they're going to be coming in here hot when they're done, ready to eat, have some drinks, just have a good time out here.
Did they tell Aaron that the runners get 2 tabs that they exchange for a beer at the end of the run? Aaron may or may not be aware of that, but she's going to find out in about an hour or two that is where all the runners are going to be exchanging that tab for a beverage.
Yeah, well, I mean,
post-race.
I think we can go out on a limb and say it might be a margarita because
it could be as well.
It is a beach theme.
This
year, and
those ladies look great.
There's a Jimmy Buffett cover band. What are they? The Sons of Pirates, I think their name is. So I think it might transform from Runners Village to Margaritaville.
It could be.
In just a few hours. I don't know if we'll still be on the air. I don't know if it would be safe at that point. But we'll see.
We will take you there live. Right now, we're going to take a quick break. It is almost time. We're about 10 minutes away.
That's right.
From the start of the Baltimore 10-miler. So we'll take a quick break here, and we'll bring you back right after these short messages from our sponsors.
Okay, so.
And I think you should be able to share.
Yes. So do you know the number for this?
I know.
Our 2 News coverage of the Baltimore 10 miler live from Druid Hill Park here in Baltimore, just a few minutes away. The runners are gathering for the start of the race. This is exciting. This is an exciting time. You feel that anticipation before the race really gets going. Christian Schaefer here alongside Sean Stepner in Druid Hill Park as we get ready for another Baltimore 10 miler.
And as we look around, stretching going on, kind of some light jogging, everybody getting their blood flowing. About 10 minutes ago, when we took Aaron in the Runners Village, behind us, it was not full, but there was some movement, there was some action. Not so much anymore. Everybody's congregating to the start-finish line right now as we are, 7 minutes away?
7 minutes away.
The national anthem's going to be starting pretty soon. We're going to see Sid Bush again with that flag, such an important member of this race and runner in this race. And here we go.
I saw a lot of people doing some pre-running just to get warmed up. Last year it was so hot and humid you almost didn't need to do that. This year, before they're stretching, they're doing a little bit of running to get the blood flowing and warm up. Right now we're going to send it out to Megan Knight and Lynette Charles. They're out near the start-finish line, and I believe they should be able to take us up to the start of the race, just over 5 minutes from now. But let's send it to them, see how things are going out there at the start-finish line. Megan, Lynette, how's it looking out there?
Oh, it's looking really good.
It is looking good out here.
I think they're getting the crowd pumped.
Yep.
Ready to run 10 miles.
I know, getting ready to run 10 miles, but I still don't hear the music. Like, they're really driving the ball on that. I mean, it really gets the crowd pumped and everything.
It gets us pumped. That's more important.
It's not about us, Megan Knight. I tell you. It's about those people getting ready.
Yeah, should we show the start of the way? See all those happy folks.
What time is it? It's 7:24. I'm looking at the clock right now.
So we have, 6 minutes?
About 6 minutes.
6 minutes to go. So we got the athletes serving athletes. They're the ones that are up front there. Wonderful organization. Love what they do. And then there's Sid. You see the guy with the flag and the orange little thing
bib.
on there?
Yeah, bib. Yeah, the orange little bib.
Yep, that's Sid.
And if you're just tuning in, we just interviewed Sid, and hopefully at the end of the race, we always try to grab him again to see like how he did and how he feels, you know.
Yeah, so he runs for fallen soldiers, fallen heroes, fallen police officers. He's just a really all-around great guy. And I think, are we doing the national anthem right now?
I think so. They just got really quiet right now.
So we'll get quiet. All right, so that was the singing of the national anthem. Sid Bush there holding his flag. By the way, he runs with that flag.
I know.
So imagine running 10 miles. That's hard enough.
Exactly.
And then the fact that he runs with that flag is just really an inspiring thing.
He's very impressive. How old? You said 70?
73.
Wow.
73.
And then he said that he's not even going to give it up anytime soon.
Right.
So.
And he said he'll still come back to, even if he doesn't run the race per se, he said he still would like to come back to Baltimore every year to just be involved some way.
Exactly.
In the Baltimore 10 miler.
What an inspiration he is. And all these people are inspirations inspiration, really.
Really?
I see this every year. I watch, and I'm like, Megan Knight, I'm going to do something with my life when I grow up. But I have not done anything with my life when I've grown up. And so I got nothing.
Oh, well, our part is to admire and to bring attention to these wonderful people.
Exactly.
Like, again, the athletes serving athletes who are in the front there. Just an amazing organization, what they're able to do for these kids and let them be a part of something like this is just truly incredible. So we have got, oh my gosh, we're almost 2 minutes away from the start here. This is so exciting.
Right. And so you said that our mission and our job is to bring attention to them, and also our job is to pump them up when they're getting closer to the finish line as well.
Yes, we are so good at that. We might not be able to run this race, but we can pump you up to run this race. Oh, here we go.
Here we
get
go.
out of the way.
All right.
Here come the athletes and
There's
Sid.
There's Sid in front. Go, Sid. Woo! Good job, guys. This is so exciting. And I love the athletes serving athletes, how they have the names of the athletes that they're running with. So that's really awesome. Yeah, it's really a sight to see.
Love it.
Yeah.
Those kids look so excited.
It's amazing.
We'll see if they're all smiling at the end, though.
Some are, though.
Yeah, some
still
are.
Exactly.
Is that runner's high?
Yes.
I don't know what that's like, but I hear it's
Exactly.
really, it's very...
Right, so we have like 90 seconds to start,
intoxicating.
guys.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
Yeah, they're getting
okay.
ready. They're doing their little stretches at the line.
Yeah, we forgot to stretch, Lynette.
I know.
Why did we?
I did a little stretching. Just for the microphone. That's
Yeah.
about it. But yeah, they're getting ready. They're excited. They're shaking it all out. It all out.
Got to get loose.
I
Got to
know.
get loose.
I don't know
run
if they
10
have
miles. We got the crowd there to cheer them on.
I
We've got
know.
people lined up, friends and family here.
It's amazing.
Lining the start line here, which is also the finish line. I mean, some people might be looking at our video going, wait a minute, it says finish, but this is where they start.
That's smart.
And this is where they finish.
Exactly.
So just in case you were wondering.
And it's a nice course that they run.
Yeah, I hear
It's a nice course that
I
they
hear it's
run.
quite hilly.
Exactly. Yeah, that's rough.
You know.
Yeah, when I say nice, I'm thinking it's just beautiful to look at. 30 to start, guys. 30 to start.
We don't actually know what it's like to run it.
Exactly.
But it's very beautiful
It is.
while
But
you're
it's pretty
sweating
anyway,
and dying
yeah.
and getting crampy and all that good stuff. Okay, we've got about 15 seconds.
Yes.
Here we go. Oh
I'm
my
excited.
goodness. Are we
I
going to
think
do a
my
little
palms are
countdown, Lynette,
sweating.
at 10?
Yeah, you want
10,
to? Okay.
9,
8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And I feel like we did that countdown before and it didn't work the last time I was here.
That's a broadcast fail right there. Gosh,
I feel like
darn
we
it.
did this like not last year, but the year before, and we failed on that. Like we really had to work on our timing because that was
Okay,
terrible.
no more
Oh, my
countdown
goodness.
for us.
Yeah.
They'll just go
But
when they
they
go.
we'll tell you that they're going. But you can see that they're
Yeah,
going as well.
you'll
when
be
that
able to
happens.
tell that they're going.
So-
They don't look like they're getting ready to
Yeah,
anytime
they
yet.
are. Any second now.
Any second
Yes.
now.
And you know what else I hear, Megan Knight?
Yeah.
I hear some little music in the background too.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Finally got the music turned on. That's good. That's good.
After
Okay,
I
nobody
play-
looks like they're like getting ready to go here.
Yeah, you know. I just got a thumb. I see a thumbs up.
Oh,
from
yeah, thumbs up.
somebody,
Oh,
so
oh,
maybe,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Here we go.
So we will
we're
see.
getting thumbs up.
Yeah. People still crossing.
I think.
Trying to get to the other side. Okay, I hear the announcer.
Okay.
20
Okay.
seconds now.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Oh, here's the countdown.
Here's the countdown.
7,
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There they go. They're off.
And they're
All
off.
right, guys. Here we go. They're checking. You can see them. They're timing their washes out to see how fast they can get through this. Some of the runners. And again, this is very exciting for them and for us as
Ooh,
well.
I get a little breeze.
I
You get that
know.
breeze coming by? That's nice. That's very nice.
I know. Waving at the camera. Oh, I
All
like
right,
that guy
runner.
with the Flash. I watched the Flash. Like I'm into that whole Marvel comic
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And he had like the Flash shirt on,
Oh,
like lightning.
that'll help him, hopefully. Yes.
That's cool.
Here we go. If you're just joining us, we just started the Baltimore 10-miler here at Druid Hill Park.
Yep.
All these happy runners.
And the weather's amazing.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is. Like,
It's
and, you know, like a nice little breeze, a light breeze coming in.
Yeah.
Feels good. You
That'll-
know, and that's from Mother Nature, but it's also from the runners passing us
Yeah.
as well.
They did provide a nice little breeze right there,
did.
didn't they?
That was
Okay,
good.
so I think that was the first wave. So we
Yes.
do this in waves here, and it's all
Exactly.
about, timing and,
Yeah.
and the time that you submit is how fast they think you can run the race. So now we got the second wave coming up.
I would be in the last wave of the last wave of the last wave if I did it.
I wouldn't even be in a wave. I'd be waving to you. as you ran by me.
No, the wave would actually be maybe a beach wave.
Beach wave. Actually, you know what? That's funny. That's the theme for this year. Did you know that?
Nice. It is.
It's a beach theme.
So like at the
that's
end, do they get
appropriate.
like towels and stuff like that, like beach towels?
Yeah, maybe a pina colada.
Awesome. Yeah.
Would that be good after running 10 miles? I don't know. Sounds good to me.
I know. We were talking earlier too, like the different people and the different tents that they have.
Yeah.
I saw one that said beer.
Beer?
It said beer. Okay, just beer, and then also a Tito's tent too. Did you say?
Yeah, look at you. Get that gleam out of your eye, girl.
I was just saying. Okay, with that, let's toss this back to Christian and Sean. Over to you guys.
And there goes the next wave.
Okay,
There we go.
we're underway with the 12th annual Baltimore 10 miler.
And you know, one of those shots that I loved was our new drone shot, as the viewers could see from the bird's eye, quite literally.
My goal this morning is to name that drone.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm sure we can take suggestions from our viewers.
I mean, I feel like if you guys want to tweet at me and what you think that
There we go.
this shot from the drone, how incredible is that shot?
Great.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking I'm always Star Wars themed. Red 2 is a good name for a drone. Just throwing that out there.
I'm
as
not a Star Wars
possibility,
guy, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, we're the 2 and red. I don't know. It is what it is.
I mean, D R
Drone.
2 D
Drone 2. It's going to have a 2 in it.
Another BB2, maybe. I don't know.
BB2.
That was a suggestion from Jeff Herman
Yeah.
back in the control room. So another shot you'll see is as the race goes on, our WMAR2 News Jeep Wrangler will be in front, getting you a shot of whoever is leading the race.
Which I also lobbied to be called Red 2, but nobody listened to me.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the WMAR2 News Wrangler. That's what it is, and it's out on the course with a camera. It's somehow like jerry rigged to the back of the thing. It's pretty incredible, and they got an operator back there following the leaders.
Yes, and
Leading the leaders.
There's a good chance that there's the shot. Those are the leaders. There's a good shot pretty soon. Dave Burdan will be one of the men in your picture if he's not already. I don't think he's definitely not one of the first 2. He might be in the third. I don't think so.
Right.
Yeah, he did. That is third place. He is in third place right there. Dave Burdan, 4-time champion, 2-time defending champion. He's won this event the last 2 years.
3 out of the last 4, and the only one that he didn't win was after he had the hip surgery.
That's right. Yeah.
So
he had arthroscopic hip surgery in November of 2015.
Yeah. So then in
And
16, he didn't win that year, but this is a fun race, and there's thousands of people here, and they're going to enjoy the after party and all that. For Dave and for the real competitive runners, it's a competition, and what I love about it is just watching him do it. I mean, they look like a machine running.
Yeah.
It's incredible to watch these top level athletes performing at their peak on a perfect day here in Baltimore.
And when you really notice that machine-like quality, as you say, is after the turn, after the midway point, when they just kind of go into cruise control, and the really good runners, their body and their muscle memory take over, and it's quite stunning to see.
It's incredible
what they are able to do, and like you said, like machine-like quality. They just hit a gear, and they keep it there, and they are able to cruise at their own speed that they're comfortable with, as you see another wave of runners going off here.
Dave's time last year was about 54 minutes. So we'd expect to get him back here to Druid Hill Park, in about 50 minutes from now, 8:20-ish, depending on how the race goes. And so that's what it takes. An elite runner, you can do the math pretty easily. 10 miles, 50-some minutes. He's running just over barely 5-minute miles, and 10 of them. Yeah, it's incredible.
Last year, Dave Burdan ran this and won it in 54 minutes, 28 seconds.
Wow.
The record Jesse Strubunt in 2013 ran it at 52:04.
Yeah, that's moving.
And when you're talking about the top times, Dave Burdan has 1, 2, 3, 4 of the top 6 times ever in this race.
Dave's the cross-country coach out at Stevenson.
Right.
And just a great guy and a great family man, and he's always been gracious with us with his time, even as he continues training to continue winning these Baltimore 10-milers, it seems like every year.
That's him right there in the sunglasses.
Yep.
Last year, he says when it's nice weather, he usually does run in sunglasses. Last year, watching the race, it was, as a couple of people have mentioned already, it was quite humid. We were expecting rain for the race last year.
Right.
A lot of runners expected the rain. They planned for rain. The rain never came.
It might have cooled it off.
Yes.
If it had rained.
Correct.
And it didn't.
And it would have been a little easier on the runners and their bodies, but it did not rain, but it was really humid. And that caught a lot of runners off guard. And last year, Burdan, who usually likes to run in those sunglasses, he didn't have the sunglasses. He was drained. I mean, I remember talking to him after the race. He was zapped.
Yeah.
I mean, the humidity takes so much out of these athletes. But today, perfect weather.
I was zapped just sitting up here the whole time last year.
Yeah,
I didn't run one step.
But right now, it's gorgeous. And it's perfect weather for these guys and girls and these runners. What a beautiful atmosphere and fun day ahead that we have.
That's why it's such a high-level broadcast right now, because we're in comfortable conditions, no humidity. I mean, this is smooth as silk this morning here alongside Sean Stepner. I'm Christian Schaefer here on WMAR2 News coverage of the Baltimore 10-miler. The runners are off. We've seen 3 waves go out now of runners, 5,000-ish participating in the race this year.
So quick update. In first place right now, Andrew Madison from Catonsville is in first place. Jeremy Ardenay, I don't know. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's in second place. He's from Baltimore. And Burdan in third with the sunglasses right there. That's a good shot of our leaders.
On the women's side, the viewers might be interested to know that Megan DiGregorio is not running this year.
Correct.
She had an injury. Certainly would have been one of the favorites had she been here.
DiGregorio has won 3 straight Baltimore 10-milers. She's won 4 overall. She had to withdraw last weekend because she's recovering from an injury. So sad to see Megan not running in this race. We always love to see the top runners. And it's such a competitive race for the avid runners.
Well, what you don't see, I mean, we can broadcast the race today, but all that training every day, out miles and miles and miles. I mean, that's a lot of wear and tear. Even for the top, professionals who know how to do it in a safe way, it is still a grind on the body all the time.
And it's a different race to train for.
Yeah,
quite frankly. I mean, these runners, they're in tip-top physical shape. They're trained for marathons and half marathons. A 10-miler, obviously, a shorter distance.
Are they sprinting? Or are they pacing themselves? They've got to figure all that stuff out.
It's unique, and we've talked about it a little bit. The course, they're on a little bit of an incline right there, as you just saw, as another wave gets ready to start the Baltimore 10-miler. I love the look of determination on the runners' faces as they get ready to start.
So we figure 50, 54 minutes for the top runners like Dave Burdan. For some of these runners, it could be an hour and a half, it could be longer. That's a long time to be doing strenuous exercise on a Saturday morning running through Baltimore. It's a tough challenge for the casual runner. It's something that they've been training for as well, trying to get in shape, make sure they can do it and get through safely. You don't want to rush it. You don't want to rush out because, again, some of those hills kick in at mile 8 and mile 9. It is tough, and they're going to be tired once they hit up to Lake Montebello and get around that circle and come on back.
But something unique and different about this Baltimore 10-miler is just kind of the atmosphere, the energy that you feel. Obviously, as we look at the top competitors here, the leaders.
That's Andrew in the front.
There's not too much energy from your fellow runners as they go on, but the back of the pack, the runners raising money for their causes, and that's so important. And and some of the people just kind of walking the 10 miles even, they get so much push and so much drive and energy from the fellow runners that are here from, like we said, 35 states and Canada come in for this race, and it's such a great race.
That's terrific. Is there another wave still yet to come here? Yep, there's another
they're
one.
Approaching.
Getting ready at the start-finish line for the Baltimore 10 mile. The challenge for them, again, just getting started. They've got a lot of work to do to get around that course, but it's fun. It's going to be a great race, and the leaders look like they'd already made their way well out of Druid Hill Park into the neighborhoods in Baltimore where the race goes. The course extends east, down 33rd, and eventually up to Lake Montebello and around back this way. I feel like I say this every year, but one of the interesting things about this race is that we're nowhere near the Inner Harbor with this race. Yeah. This is not some neighborhoods that people get to see on TV quite as much. You don't hear about as much, and they get some exposure here with the way this race course is laid out. It goes right through Waverly and up into Northeast Baltimore, and then back around again. It's a beautiful course, and all the runners talk about it every year how much they love seeing it. And again, it's just a different type of parts of Baltimore that you get to see through the Baltimore 10 miler.
Quick update. The leaders just passed the 2-mile marker. Dave Burdan about 12 seconds back. He is still in third place. He's trying. He is biding his time, I think, but it's going to be competitive.
The 2 mile is at about 26th Street, and then the runners take a left and go north on Greenmount. And if I'm not mistaken, they may have already made that turn to get onto Greenmount Avenue. And then they kind of take a little bit of a jog to the right, which I think just happened. Yeah, that's Old York Road. And then they'll take the right onto 33rd that goes down through Waverly and through where Memorial Stadium used to be. Yeah, they'll pass that.
And one of the
they're approaching mile 3.
One of the favorite, the most favorite parts of this race is the Lake Montebello turn. Yeah. That's at mile 4 and 5. The mile marker 4, mile marker 5. And that's when, we have a camera there. That's always one of my favorite shots every single year when the runners are approaching and going around Lake Montebello. And we talk about getting a boost of energy. There's our camera at Lake Montebello. They're just waiting patiently.
The volunteers are ready.
Yeah, those are important folks at this race.
Absolutely.
And, we talk about getting that boost of energy from your fellow runners. It's amazing what a live camera will do to the human spirit.
Right when they need it, too.
You turn that red light on, and boom, some adrenaline gets going, and they take off. So that's one of my favorite shots is that the runners wave, and they make that turn around the lake.
As to the competitive portion of the race, well, it's interesting. That last shot we saw, it looked like Dave Burdan maybe about 100 or so yards behind the leaders, which was Andrew Madison and Jeremy Andrenai. I'm sure I mispronounced that.
Argenai. I'm sure we'll find out sooner or later.
There's the course.
Yeah, there we go.
Look at the bottom part where it shows where the hills are. So you get to the end of that, and then you start doing hills.
That's
Ouch.
tough. Yeah, that's tough.
So the leaders are about to make that right-hand turn now onto 33rd Street. As you look at it, that's that straight line going left across toward Lake Montebello up there in Northeast Baltimore. So they are moving to be done with 3 miles already.
The first place mile pace is about 5 minutes and 4 seconds.
Oof.
So
yeah,
he's cruising.
That is moving. So the question is going to be whether the leaders who had been ahead of Dave Burdan can maintain that pace.
Right.
Like, sure, you got a lead for a couple of miles, but can you do that for 10 miles?
Right.
I don't know.
That is, I believe, Andrew Madison from Catonsville, just chugging along there.
Okay.
So, but right now I think we're going to head to a break. We're going to head to a quick break, but stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. More Baltimore 10-miler. Our coverage continues right after this. Stay with us.
Welcome back into Druid Hill Park and WMAR2 news coverage of the Baltimore 10 miler. It is a absolutely picture-perfect morning here. Oh, are we getting the melons ready?
There we go.
Oh, those are going to be good.
Look at the swag.
Plenty of swag
That's
here
nice.
for another 10 miler. There's food, there's drinks, there's fun. And oh, by the way, there's people, thousands of them, running 10 miles through the streets of Baltimore City. And we've got an interesting competitive race at the top of the men's division right now.
I think right now Dave Burdan is in second place, I believe. For much of the beginning of this race, again, Dave Burdan, 4-time champion, 2-time defending champion. He's won the last 2 years.
Yep.
You know, he's just stalking the leader right now. And, you know, these runners have to keep a lot in the tank because the elevation over the last 2 miles of this race really takes a lot out. And that's where it benefits these runners that are so much more experienced in this race. They know this course, and they know the hills, the ups, the downs, quite literally. And they just kind of keep that energy in.
It's a mental game, strategic at this point as well. Right. When do you make your move? There's one of those Baltimore police officers, 2 of them on the sides of the road there, blocking off traffic, making sure all the runners are safe as they go by.
That is Jeremy Ardenay. I think that's how we're going with the pronunciation of his last name. I apologize if that's incorrect, but Jason Ardenay of Baltimore, just out of the picture there, but he is in the lead right now, first place in the Baltimore 10 miler.
Okay. Do we know there was Andrew Madison was up there too as well earlier, and then Dave was. Last time we saw Dave, he's about 100 yards behind the leaders. And forgive me if I remember this wrong last year, but I think Dave by this point last year was already ahead of the other.
I think you're right.
He was kind of pushing. I think we're going to send it now out to Lake Montebello. We saw some leaders heading that way. We have Mark Roper and Eric Taylor out there right now. Let's check in and see if they can see the leaders going by there at Lake Montebello.
Hey guys, yeah, we are here at Lake Montebello, which I call sort of the oasis in Baltimore, and that's what it is today. Eric and I will be handing out water and Gatorade for the racers who are needing some refreshments as they're out on the race today.
Yeah, of course, a good cup of quality H2O will work. The weather conditions couldn't be any greater as Dave Burdan starts to make his way towards Lake Montebello. Just remember, last year, his time was a little over 54 minutes, so very, very fast for the 10-miler. And he's racing in superb conditions today. It really can't get any better than this. Low humidity, tons of sunshine out here. Temperatures starting out in the 60s to right around 70. We'll be up into the 70s for the core of the race, and then up over the 80-degree mark as we get towards about noontime today. Mark Roper's over here with a great group of individuals putting in the time. There they are. There they are, and we'll send it over to Mark. He's got a little bit of an update with these folks.
So why do you guys do this? Why do you guys come out here on a hot day and pass out water and Gatorade?
Why not? Why not? I'm not doing anything else with my time, so why not help out, all these runners? I'm with ASA, so, I definitely want to be here to cheer on ASA and all the teams that are running today, and I wish everybody luck, but especially my ASA family.
What's the best part of being out here on the 10-miler?
Just the enthusiasm. If anybody's run any race through the city, the residents come out, they cheer, they have music, it's like a celebration. It really is like a parade, just for appreciating people that want to do something for their community. It really is a great cause. So,
and for the people who take part in the 10-miler, what do you think about when you see their faces and they're coming to this point and they're doing this race for a good cause as well?
I've been there, I've been in their shoes, and I know that, we're at the halfway point, and they know they're at the halfway point, so you just give them that extra push to make it to the finish line.
And I understand we are probably not too far away from. They are on their way. We should see them coming up shortly.
So yeah, Mark, the leader. We got the leader right here coming around the corner. Dave Burdan following our Jeep right behind him, coming around the big stretch here, and really has a good pace.
Got the WMAR2 News Wrangler following the leader of the race right now.
Very great pace coming on through here. Easily striding.
Everybody cheer him on.
Look at the stride. Look at the stride. Effortless as he moves here through the flattest part of the course and eventually back into the hills.
This is pretty incredible, Eric, isn't it, to be out here and to see We've been out here for what, about an hour, and already they've crossed the halfway point.
Yeah, a little over an hour. Great conditions out here. Look at all the volunteers. Here's some more runners now starting to make their way into the turn. And just look at their strides, Mark. This just seems effortless for them as they just cut through these hills and turns throughout Baltimore.
It really is something to admire to see the hard work that people put into doing this race today. You know, you've got to probably train for months, get in good shape, eat right, and prepare and train for today.
It's really half and half. It's physical when it comes to running, but it's also mental. I remember back in school, I ran triathlon at Rutgers University, and it was really all about the mental aspect to get you through the game. But once you get to this halfway point, of course, and you see all these volunteers cheering you on, and you get that water that gives you that second wind to start to bring it home back to the zoo here. Still got a little ways to go. Of course, this is the 5-mile mark, but almost back there. So.
But seeing these runners who are out here this morning, you see their spirit. It's incredible to watch why they do this. And it's a good cause, 3 charities that the race helps to benefit. So maybe next year you and I can do this.
Yeah, maybe next year. Right now, though, I think we'll stick to the water and the donuts out there. But for now, of course, we'll send it back over to you guys at the desk.
Okay, Mark and Eric are at Lake Montebello. We saw the leaders go by, so they should be just about halfway done at this point as they make their way around Lake Montebello. A lot of the rest of the runners are still making their way out toward Lake Montebello, so the leaders are going to see them on their way back here.
That's a great part of this course.
They enjoy that.
You make the turn, and you're able to see the other waves, and they cheer you on. How about Eric Taylor? I didn't know he's an expert.
He knows what it takes.
Come on.
Right.
So, yeah, we got to get maybe Eric can challenge Dave Burdan
maybe
or
he
Jeremy
could be in next year's Baltimore 10-miler. What's he doing standing there?
What are Megan and Lynette doing right now at the
I'm going to check with
line?
them to see if all of the waves have gone out. They released the runners, 5,000 of them in several different groupings. Let's go back to Megan and Lynette to see if all of the groupings have left already, guys. How's it going out there?
Yeah. Jinx, buy me a Coke.
I know.
Megan can't talk until somebody says her name, and I just said Megan, so you can talk now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, 5,000 of our friends just left us.
I know.
They went off running the 10-mile
When we knew it was coming back to us, I was like, Megan, what are we going to do with our lives?
Yeah.
They're gone.
What are we going to talk about? We can't even hear the music.
I know.
Not to harp on that, but
I have been complaining about that all morning.
Yeah.
I think the speaker is turned the wrong direction. That's why.
Maybe we need to fix this. But we did get a visit from Blue the Crab. He was over there dancing. He could hear the music. So we were saying how jealous we were.
Exactly. And the music that they're playing, they're trying to pump up the runners because they were playing Rocky songs.
Oh,
dun,
yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun.
See, we don't need music. We bring our own music. We bring our own
So
part.
much fun.
And we got to talk to Mark Raganey.
Yes, love him.
With Corrigan Sports. Yeah, he said we're his favorite.
I know. We were like, oh, Mark, did you go see Christian yet? He's like, no, I didn't go see Christian. You two are first on my list.
Man, they're so sorry they talked to us. Anyway, but yeah, so it is a little quiet here right now at the, I guess now, finish line.
Exactly.
So it's no longer the start line.
No longer the start line.
It is now converted to the finish
With
line.
that said, though, we do have the people waiting, I guess, for their loved ones.
Yeah, there's
cheering
like
them on.
picnics. We got dogs over
Love
here.
it.
Everyone is just hanging out.
There are a lot of dogs I've seen.
Yeah, lots of dogs.
You know, that
Everyone's
makes me
coming out to
happy.
support the runners.
Exactly.
Waving them on as they make their way down the stretch here towards the finish line. So
I know, and you know what else got me is just, remember how the first runners, like how far they were, like when they took off, like their times, like are so
yeah, they're
fast.
like almost done.
I know.
They are almost
They're
done.
almost done.
Yeah.
So pretty soon we will be seeing them coming back in the opposite direction.
Right, where we got
for
the camera
finish.
pointed.
Exactly.
It's so fun to see them come around that corner
It
too,
is.
you know, and they are
Exciting.
they see that finish line, and that just gives them that little extra adrenaline.
And you know what's funny is like when they really get more competitive then too. Like you'll see people really trying to pass each other.
Yeah, they
and
get
stuff.
that mean face on.
Exactly.
They want to get to that finish line. So anyway, all right. So it's kind of like, you know, quiet here. I guess we're gonna maybe see what the music sitch is.
I know. I am. After this, I'm gonna go talk to somebody.
She is gonna go. So we'll send things back over to Christian and Sean, and we'll go work on the music situation.
We got to. Actually, it might be better if we are. Hello.
Be doing that. That's how they roll anyway.
You're talking about Megan and Lynette.
Megan and Lynette would just be doing that whether we were on live television or not. That's just how we just kind of break into their conversation so that everybody else can watch them hang out for a while.
That's some behind-the-scenes knowledge.
That's just
dropping knowledge.
That's
Christian
just
Schaefer.
what they do all the time.
Yeah,
it's fun.
We saw the shot of Jeremy leading the race, and at this point, you can't see Dave Burdan.
Right.
Dave Burdan, the 4-time champion.
So he's managed to open up a lead as he enters probably about the 6-mile mark now, maybe passing the 6-mile mark.
I think that's Dave in the black, in the middle of the road, behind him.
So he's got some,
because he's in second.
He's got some ground to make up.
But I think he's just kind of pacing himself maybe. So let's see what his strategy is. But yeah, we have a competitive Baltimore 10-miler at this point.
And so if they keep the pace of previous years, which they have been at about just over 5-minute miles, they'll be done, the leaders, in about 20 minutes from now.
And there you see on the other side is the other wave of one of the other waves going the opposite direction. So
there's a
that's
short,
what we were talking about.
There's a short little kink in the race course there to make sure that it equals exactly 10 miles, I'm assuming, where they take that, what you saw, that quick right-hand turn, then go back down to 33rd Street again. The runners that you see going across are going still toward Lake Montebello. They haven't even been halfway yet. The leaders are on the way back down 33rd, but they've got to come up and then go back down to 33rd, as that is essentially the 6-mile mark right there.
So as we see some volunteers getting ready to hand out some water, it's our viewers' chance to go grab some water of their own, because we're going to take a very short break, but stay with us. We have a competitive Baltimore 10-miler. Don't miss the rest of the race, the rest of the broadcast. Stay right there. We're going to be back with the coverage of the Baltimore 10-miler in a couple minutes.
Our second hour of coverage of the Baltimore 10-miler. Christian Schaefer here alongside Sean Stepner in Druid Hill Park as we talk about what has turned into a competitive race on the men's side.
Yeah, Jeremy Ardney of Baltimore is in the lead. Dave Burdan, the 4-time champion, 2-time defending champion, is in second place. Jeremy just hit mile 6, and he has a heavy lead.
Okay,
he ran his last mile in 5 minutes and 20 seconds. So he's cruising. There he is. He is cruising along, and he is trying to win this 12th annual Baltimore 10-miler as he hydrates.
So we're back live now, and Yeah, we'll see how it goes. He's got about we're estimating 15 minutes left to finish the last, maybe a little longer than that, 15 to 18 minutes. We'll see. But we'll make sure that we show you the end when it does happen. We're not going to miss that because it sounds like we have an interesting last leg of the Baltimore 10-miler. Right now, though, before we get to that, we're going to send it over to Erin McPherson. She is talking with some of the representatives who are here from Athletes Serving Athletes, which we saw them start the race earlier. And Erin is over at their booth now, going to talk some more about what they do and why it's so important. Erin, take it away.
Yeah, we're live here in Runners Village right now, still waiting for people to come in, but we did want to highlight this very important organization, Athletes Serving Athletes. It's been local in this community for 10 years, and we have Lisa Cooper here, the Director of Programming for Athletes Serving Athletes. Can you explain to everyone what this incredible organization is?
Sure. So we pair able-bodied runners with those who have limited or no mobility, and we use adult joggers, and we create teams that participate in mainstream running events.
I know we were talking about how you've been in the area for 10 years. How long have you been participating in this race or other races here?
I think we've been in this race for probably 5 or 6 years. It's really one of our favorites.
And why are you personally involved in this organization?
Well, it's a passion. I'm particularly fond of kids and these athletes and these families who, you would not expect to see at a race, and they're doing things that I think that people don't understand that those with disabilities can do. And we just want to let people know that it is possible. That disability doesn't mean that you have to, not participate.
Absolutely, and we do have a parent here, one of the people in this organization. So can you tell us your name and your involvement?
I'm Janice Wright, and I am the mom of an amazing young man, Matthew, and he is very excited to be here and to run, so yeah.
And we were talking about how this organization has really impacted your life. How has it helped?
It has opened tremendous doors for us. He has gained so much confidence in himself, in other people. He's created friends, and I've created friends too, a family actually. We're very close-knit. This community absolutely understands my world. The disability world is completely different and has its own little quirks and idiosyncrasies, and they understand it and they accept it, and it's a very loving and encouraging family. So
we saw a big group of you over here earlier before the race started. I'm sure you guys are anxious for everybody to come back and after the race is over.
Absolutely. The best thing is to cheering all of our athletes on as they pass and just seeing them just accomplish and cross a finish line together. And so it's great. It's incredible.
Well, hopefully we can meet some of those wonderful athletes in a little bit when they come over. And those runners will be coming in shortly. As Runners Village, we'll see people coming in throughout the next hour or two, so make sure you stay with us. Heading back to you guys.
Okay, Erin. Yeah, thanks very much for that. And it's incredible too when you talk to them because they call them the wingman that push the other athletes, and they always say that they get the energy from the person that they're pushing through the race course. It's incredible
to see them cross the finish line.
What a
is
feeling.
One of the great moments of this Baltimore 10-miler each and every year. The look on their faces, the energy that they are giving off, it's just
and that goes out to their families, their supporters, their friends, everybody. It's one of the best things about this race, and that they're here every year, and they're doing a great job. They're out there right now.
Yeah. And, as we talk about, that looks good. That food looks good. Can you tell?
2 hours to go.
Yeah. Can you tell I didn't have any breakfast this morning?
That's
hey,
right.
When we're talking about this race, we have a great competitive race on our hands.
The leaders should be getting pretty close to the 7-mile mark if they have not passed it already, which means they're heading down Greenmount Avenue. They'll take a right on 26th. And if you know North Baltimore, that comes over and around and then eventually kind of winds its way back here into Druid Hill Park. And it also gets hilly.
Yeah.
It is about to get tough.
And some of the more experienced runners who are running this to win it are saving their energy. They have some some reserves in the tank.
What do you got left?
And they're saving that for the end of this course because the degree of difficulty is it's quite tough.
Yeah.
As you because I mean he's running on an incline right there, and
at a pace of just over 5 minutes a mile. I mean,
Unbelievable.
that is moving.
That's cruising. He's motoring, and that's our WMAR2 News Jeep Wrangler shot. Jeremy Ardenay of Baltimore in the lead.
It looks
Dave
like he's
Burdan
opened
in
up a
second.
pretty good lead over
he's
Dave
got a heavy
Burdan.
lead. He has a heavy lead. And as you see, the other wave of one of the other waves of runners go in the opposite direction.
Yeah, so those are some of the runners from one of the later waves that went out. Now they're going east on 26. He's coming west back toward Druid Hill Park. So he's got a right-hand turn to take onto, is that Howard? I believe it's Howard Street that he takes the right on. And then that leads you up above Wyman Park Drive and back down into Druid Hill Park.
Yeah.
But at this point, it would not be surprising if Jeremy Ardenay walks away winning the Baltimore 10 miler. He's got to feel good about where he is right now.
And that's exciting. A new winner.
Assuming he's got enough left in the tank. We'll see.
And that's one of the things that Dave Burdan, he's such a veteran of this course, that one of the things he might be doing right now is just kind of hanging back, kind of keeping it cool. He might remember back to last year when he was so drained afterward. The conditions are almost the complete opposite of last year. But
and if he has, if there's any type of physical ailment or injury or reason that he doesn't feel he can just push it to the limit to try to make up that ground, I mean, he's not going to do it. So he knows his body well enough to know what he can accomplish.
Jeremy finished third at the Baltimore Marathon last year with a time of 2:40:52. Okay. So he was a third in the marathon, 26 years old, and a member of the Baltimore Roadrunners Club. Now, the leader on the women's side of things, Natalie Adebeck.
Okay.
And we hope we're pronouncing that last name correctly. Adebeck. One of the two probably, but she is the leader right now.
Okay.
And we'll see how things progress as we move along and we move to the end of this race.
They just took a shot of the shaved ice van, which is also now selling pickle juice flavored shaved ice.
And you tried some
this year? I have not tried the pickle juice shaved ice just yet, but the guy says it is selling fast.
It's selling fast, or he's giving it out free samples.
He's selling it fast, and he's thinking that it's possible that people might want it here to give him some energy, having run the race. We're going to see in just a few minutes.
Yeah. Hey, let's head back out to the finish line. Lynette Charles is standing by.
All right, guys. So I made some friends. Look what I have here. I saw them. I was over across the street, and then I just saw these cutie patooties over here, so I had to make my way over here. So let's get some introductions, shall we? Okay, let's start with you. What's your name?
Melody.
Melody. Isn't she adorable? I can't. And what's your name?
Madeline.
Madeline. Melody and Madeline. They are the cutest ever. And this is your mom?
Yep, Heather.
Nice to meet you, Heather. And lastly?
Julia.
Julia. So why are you guys out here this morning?
We are here to cheer for their daddy and my husband and her son.
And is this the first time? Have you guys been here before?
Our first time for this one, but he's actually done all three of them. So this will be his third one of the series.
Nice. And where'd you guys get the signs this morning?
We went to a place and we made some signs.
And what does your sign say? Hold it up. And hold it up right over there. You see that camera over there? And tell me what your sign says.
Go Daddy 1-1.
That's so adorable, I can't. And the one here is, and what does yours say?
Go Daddy.
Aw, what's your daddy's name?
Derek.
Derek. All right, so we're all going to say go Derek. We're so excited, but we see a lot of signs. I can see the girl over there. She's passing the little signs out, and so some other people are writing it down as well. So I'm going to try to make my way through the crowd a little bit later. But right now, Megan Knight, I see you over there. Do you want to say anything? I'm having fun.
I see
you should have
having
come
fun.
join me, but okay.
Well, my mic cord wouldn't stretch that far, so I got to stay over closer to Manny and the camera here. But you look like you're having a great time, and they are so cute.
Aren't they
those two.
adorable?
I mean,
but Megan is the one that actually saw you guys first. She's like, Lynette, I think you guys were over there. And she's like, oh my gosh, look at them. So I'm glad you guys sat down. You're in our eye line. And yeah, so I had to make my way over. You guys are just fantastic.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
About all of that.
All right, so I'm going to send it back to Christian and Sean. Sean and Christian, you cannot beat this. I got it this morning.
Yeah.
Noted.
Now we get to follow that. Thanks, Lynette. How cute are they? Oh, my gosh.
That's what it's all about, cheering on Daddy.
Terrific.
So, quick note about our leader, Jason Ardney, and again, we hope we're pronouncing that last name correctly. Apologies if we're not. So we talked about the Baltimore Marathon. He was third at the 2008 Baltimore Marathon with a time of 2:40:52. In 2017, a year prior, in the marathon, he had a time of 4 hours, 45 minutes. So he improved in 1 year by 2 hours.
Whoa.
In a marathon.
Wow.
So, he has
that's incredible.
Something's right with his training.
Yeah.
Something he's doing correctly in his training.
Well, we know
and it
he
looks like it right now.
He's in the Baltimore Roadrunners Club, running club that's got some people here in the race today. If he winds up crossing the finish line first, and he is at this point far and away the leader, we're going to ask him about that.
Yeah.
You must have, because to go from a casual marathon runner, and it's difficult for anyone to run a marathon, but there are people who do it recreationally, to go from a time of a casual runner to one where you're almost winning the race overall, that would take a lot of effort and training to get to that level.
You know what else takes a lot of effort and training? Getting your PhD. Actually, he's a PhD candidate in molecular microbiology.
Oh, yeah.
And immunology.
So he's doing that on the side.
At University of Maryland School of Medicine.
Nice.
That also takes a lot of training and effort.
Uh-huh. So we have a dedicated individual.
Yes.
It looks like he's in the park. Or he's close to it.
Yeah.
He's starting to wind around. We saw some of those hills.
Wow. There we go.
He
is
the
scooting. He's between miles 8 and 9 right now.
Yeah, so he is about to enter. He's going to cross over 83 and come back into Druid Hill Park.
He's from the Ridgely's Delight neighborhood in Baltimore.
Oh, yeah, right over by the baseball stadium.
Yeah. Yep.
So this is a picture out there, Lake Montebello. Jeremy Ardney has left all that behind. He is almost finished with the Baltimore 10-miler, but we still have a lot of runners, thousands of them, out on the course, getting through the 10 miles, making their way out to Lake Montebello, around it, and then back again.
And he just has about a mile left.
Yeah, this is...
he's approaching the mile 9 marker.
So this is where they talk about the hill.
And you can tell he's kind of laboring.
That hill coming back into Druid Hill Park.
That's tough.
From that entrance. So then he's going to pass the swimming pool is going to be on his right eventually.
Look at that incline.
And that is a big hill. And if you drive that way into the park sometimes, you might not think of that because you're driving.
Right.
But this guy's running it, and he's already run 9 miles, and that is a big hill to come up. You just see him look back
Yeah.
there.
And the WMAR2 News Wrangler really handling that hill with ease. Jeremy, not so much. I mean, he actually looks like he's handling it with a fair amount of ease.
I saw him do a couple of look-backs over the shoulder, maybe trying to see if there is still that distance between him and the
he knows who he's up
second-place
against.
runner. And at this point, he's got to be feeling pretty confident that he's going to be able to cross the finish line first, maybe within the next 4 to 5 minutes.
Now, I'm no expert runner at all, but when you're at a mile, 9 and you have to compensate for those speed bumps in the road, that's just got to be annoying at that point.
He is passing.
When you're going up a hill and you're trying to, navigate over the speed bumps.
Well, at this point he's far enough ahead, Jeremy Ardney, that it seems like a fall might be the only thing that would stop him. So he's got to be careful, close it out nice and easy.
Knock on this table.
Passing the tennis courts here in Druid Hill Park. You can see Druid Lake there behind him now.
There we go.
He is almost here.
Right now he's just
look back again.
He's looking. He's like, where's Dave?
Yeah.
And
he's
digging deep. He's digging into the reserves right now as he scoots toward that finish line and tries to be the champion of the 2019 Baltimore 10-miler, the 12th annual race.
So it takes a little. He's almost done. He's past the 9-mile mark, so less than a mile to go. There it is, right there. So once you're in the park now, it still winds around a little bit, and again, it's hilly inside the park. So he's not done yet. He's got a lot of work to do to close it out, but he is in a great position to win his first Baltimore 10-miler.
And on the female side of things, Natalie Adebeck, 27 years old, from Bethesda, Maryland. Her projected finish time is an hour and 5 minutes. So that's where she is. And as we look at the top women's times, I mean, the top finish time on the women's side, Hannah Hansen in 2012 with the time of 1:02:01. So last year, Megan DiGregorio, 1:04:36 was the finish time for the first place woman.
So we're looking at about maybe another 10-15 minutes before the female leader gets close to the finish line.
But we're just minutes away
very close.
from Jeremy scooting toward that finish line and crossing that finish line. As we take the WMAR 2 News Jeep Wrangler camera as we get a look at Jeremy.
I think he's going to do it.
There we go.
Jeremy Ardney, the Baltimore Road Runners Club.
You can tell he's just telling both of those legs, just keep going. You can just see it on his face.
Finish strong. Yeah, he's going to start seeing some of the setup for the race here, and as he gets closer to the finish line, looks like he's on a bit of a downhill stretch right there.
It's got to be nice.
Yeah, just let the legs kind of run out.
That's a great shot right there. That's a great shot.
The WMAR 2 News Wrangler right in front of your leader, Jeremy Ardney. We'll buy some more of the tennis courts here in Druid Hill Park.
We're just minutes away from the finish.
Yeah, we're getting close.
Crowning a champion.
Very exciting.
And it'd be exciting to talk to him.
I hope he comes over and talks to us.
It'll be exciting to get his thoughts
Yeah.
on how he approached this and what his training methods are. Because,
That's
again,
amazing.
he improved from 1 year to the next in the Baltimore Marathon by 2 hours.
Wow.
I mean, so we'll see if he's had to go overcome an injury. We'll see if, if he changed his training methods. But right now, look, I mean, he's in the shade. He's cruising along, approaching
in the shade.
Mile marker 10, and that's where you want to be.
Baltimore 10-miler live for 3 hours today. Special thanks to Mr. Phil Hooper.
You're watching live coverage of the Baltimore 10-miler. Sean Stepner with Christian Schaefer as we get a look at our leader in the Baltimore 10-miler about to cross the finish line.
Okay, Megan Knight and Lynette Charles are close to the finish line. Let's send it back to them to see if they can catch Jeremy Ardney becoming the winner of the Baltimore 10-miler.
Yeah, we just saw him go across up the hill here, so that's how we know that they're getting close, because we could see the police cars, we saw our Jeep News Wrangler, and then we saw Jeremy, right?
Right.
Jeremy
That's
is in the lead. So he's gonna be here soon. It's so exciting.
I know, it is exciting. So how long do you know how long it actually takes, like once we see them like that, or for them to come around the hill?
I think it's just
it's a matter
the
of
way
minutes.
he's going, it's probably a matter of seconds.
Yeah,
but,
so I mean, if we talk long enough, I think that
I think he will come. So we'll make sure to jump out of the way, because
I don't think I've ever been this excited before, but I think that I'm so excited because they're actually somebody new this time.
Yeah.
So it's like, if we should call it, you said, a scandal. Megan Knight said it was a scandal.
That may have been a bit dramatic.
It's a little dramatic, but it is it's exciting out here this morning.
Yeah. So okay, all right. So once again, we just saw the lead in the race here, the Baltimore 10-miler, Jeremy. He came around the corner there. So that here we go. We see. I see the police escort. Let's get out of the way.
So we're backing up.
Yeah, we're backing up.
And there's the police escort.
And
you
here we
will
go.
soon see our Jeep Wrangler. And then with that, we'll start to see some the winner coming down the line here. Just
So
a matter of
exciting.
moments.
There's our Jeep.
There we go.
There's the News
there's
Wrangler.
The Jeep. There he is. Yep, I see his head. He's in yellow. There he is right there. There we go, guys. The first one. He is booking it. Look at this. I don't think I've ever, this happened so quickly this time. This is ridiculous.
I feel like we just started the race.
I feel like we just started the race.
Here he
All right,
comes.
we're going to cheer. We're putting on our cheering hats now. Here we go.
Get in the final stretch.
Jeremy! Woo! Go, Jeremy! Go, Jeremy! Jeremy! Good job, Jeremy! Woohoo! All right, that is so awesome. He is done. You guys, he flew. I mean, he turned into Superman, Batman, and the Flash and all at one time. I have never seen it. Like, wow. And he doesn't even seem like he's tired.
No, but I think our producer Kalita said that he ran like a 50-miler not too long ago. So that's like nothing. I mean, this is nothing.
Wow. I mean, but he ran it like it was nothing, though.
Right.
I mean, he really did.
He made it look so easy.
Right. So I wonder how far back the next person is.
Well,
the next
wait.
group. Here we go.
We got somebody coming.
That might be Bernard. I don't know. It is. Yes.
That
so
Dave?
here's second place. Yes, that's
There
Dave.
we go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, there's Dave.
Yeah.
Yep, that's Dave.
Wow.
Woo! Go Dave! Woo!
Wow.
Yep. So he's second this year. Yep.
An upset
so there we
at the
go.
10-miler.
But I mean, it just goes to show you, though, like they're so fast. Like, where's the next person? Like, so far, exactly. You know, so
Where
we
is
have
the
1 and
next
2.
person?
We have 1 and 2, but you know, where's 3? And then we have like the big group after that. So. Again, we're gonna have to wait for that. So, what was the timing on that, Mega Knight?
It was Jeremy came in at like 53.
53. Okay.
So
and
that
so
is
Dave's
incredible.
like
To
54.
run 10 miles under an hour. I bow to you.
I do.
I bow to you.
I
It's
do.
really all the runners who are
I
out here
know.
today doing this. So
okay, so they're through. So we still have a little bit more time for people to come out. So now, Mega Knight, what's on top of your head?
Oh, my sunglasses.
Oh, your sunglasses.
my sunnies.
Why do you need the sunglasses?
Because it's bright.
The sun is just so bright. My future's so bright. I don't know.
And the music. We got the music
Let's
situation.
thank Booker.
Thank you, Booker.
Booker came up here.
He came
and
over,
I was
asked
like,
us if we
Booker?
needed anything.
Exactly. I was like, can you make the music louder? He's like, of course.
And he
So
did.
got that.
So thank you, Booker. All right.
Okay.
So we're waiting for the...
Oh, wait. There's a third person.
Oops,
This is the
sorry.
third guy.
There goes Manny.
Sorry.
Swinging around, Manny.
Yeah, we got it.
And we got a third
This
place
is our third
finisher.
guy. Woo! Good job.
All right. So first, second, and third for the men.
So first, second, and third for the men have come
crossed.
through.
All right, they're starting to trickle in now. So we'll send things, I
Yeah.
guess, back over to Christian and Sean as we're watching everyone starting to trickle on
Yeah,
through
they
to
are
the finish
trickling.
line. So exciting.
There you have it. We have a new champion.
There we go. Jeremy Ardenay from Baltimore. Again, we hope we have that last name right. And if we don't have that last
We're
name
gonna find
right,
out.
I'm pretty sure we're going to get it right eventually because we're going to talk to the
I want to
new
hear from that guy.
champion of the Baltimore 10-miler in just a little bit, right after the break. We're going to try and get Jeremy on set and ask him some questions, how he did it, how he bested Dave Burdan, who came in second place, the 4-time champion of this race in second place this year. Jeremy wins the Baltimore 10-miler in 2019. Right now, we're going to take a quick break. Stay right there. Much more to come here on the Baltimore 10-miler right after this.
Okay, welcome back into the Baltimore 10-miler. You are looking at the 2019 champion of the Baltimore 10-miler, Jeremy Ardenay of Baltimore, along with Mary Beth. Who's
That's
trying
right.
to get him to come over here to the set and talk to us.
The Mary Beth of WMAR2 behind the scenes, yes.
Look at him, he's running.
Jeremy's running again. I see him off camera. He's actually jogging.
Wow.
He's good for the half marathon or the marathon.
I guess. I would think he has run enough for today, but he seems to think otherwise. Not done running after making that 10-mile trek around Baltimore, out of Druid Hill Park, around to Northeast Baltimore, and then back again. He has done it. Jeremy Ardenay has defeated Dave Bourdin and become the 2019 champion of the Baltimore 10-miler.
His official time was 53 minutes and 15 seconds.
Okay.
And
that's pretty fast.
Yeah, and that ties Dave Bourdin for the second all-time in 2015.
Second fastest time on the Baltimore 10-miler of all time.
Yes.
53 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yes.
Incredible. What an effort by Jeremy Ardenay this morning.
Yes.
That's
and he's
great.
on his way over here. We're going to ask him how he trained.
Yeah.
And you saw him at the end. He was looking over his shoulder. He's probably looking for Dave.
Yeah.
Because he thought Dave was going to make a late charge, but he just kept with it. He got that extra energy boost.
Yeah.
And he's a fascinating guy, it seems. Jeremy.
I know. I'm looking forward to talking to him.
PhD candidate, University of Maryland. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
here he comes. He's on his way.
So we're going to speak with the winner of the men's side, Jeremy Ardenay. On the women's side, that race still going on. Maybe another 5-10 minutes away from having our winner cross the finish line in that race. We'll let you know when that happens as well. And there are the thousands of other runners still on the course right now, making their way through the 10 miles here around Baltimore. Oh,
And we have Jeremy approaching
the
the desk here. We're going to get him set up. He has his medal around his neck. Welcome, Jeremy.
Congratulations,
Hey,
Christian
Thank
Schaefer.
you. Jeremy.
Nice to
Sean
meet you,
Stepner.
Sean Stepner.
Jeremy, nice to meet
First
you.
question for you. How do you pronounce your last name?
Ardenoy?
Ardenoy. That
go.
was the second. It was either Ardenay or Ardenoy
Hey, good enough,
that
yeah.
we were going with.
Yeah, thank
and
you.
we said that we went with Ardenay,
That's
so
all
we
good.
apologize.
Oh, it's fine, yeah.
Jeremy Ardenoy.
Boy, you look great out there.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
I feel good now. I felt pretty awful in the back half there. It was super hot, and those hills coming back into the park will seriously kill you. But
We saw you looking over your shoulder. We could see on your face and in your body you were just kind of talking to your legs and your feet, just telling them to keep chugging along. Is that how you were feeling toward the end of that race?
Oh, yeah. I mean, my heart, my lungs especially were just on fire from mile 4 onwards. But really in the last few miles, your legs just start to shut down, and you got to just will them to keep going up those hills because they just get dead, especially going downhill in the first half will really zap the energy out of your legs there. So.
How long you been racing competitively? And talk a little about the club you're with, the Baltimore Roadrunners.
Sure, yeah. So, I mean, I ran in high school, and then I essentially took a hiatus until 2017 where I signed up for the Baltimore Marathon and ran about 10 miles a week in training, went into that, seriously blew up and ran 4:45 in my first race back, so pretty terrible. But then the next year I came back and got third 2018 Baltimore Marathon in 2:40, so since then I've sort of just been progressing a lot.
That just seems, as we were talking earlier, a major so we have the...
Yeah, let's go to, this is the finish line.
Oh, yeah.
Back to the finish line
And
again.
this is the... this is the replay. This is the replay of Jeremy
That's
finishing.
you.
Yes, I'm sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, there. So watching that back, I mean, what does this accomplishment feel like for you? I mean,
it feels good. I've been winning a few races this year, so I've definitely, been getting in great shape. I just ran a 2:28 at the Toledo Marathon last month.
2:28.
And I've been sort of banged up since then, so it feels good to come out and run a good first strong race.
The distance, 10 miles, what's that like as far as compared with, a marathon or a half marathon? Do you have to pace yourself differently? What kind of change do you have to make to do this level of a race?
Yeah, so a 10 mile is tough because it's sort of the middle area. I've run a lot of 5Ks. I've run a decent amount of marathons now, but 10 mile, you sort of just have to hold your hand in the fire a bit, a strong sort of threshold burn, and just hold it for close to an hour. So it's a pretty tough distance.
Threshold burn.
Yeah, but getting back to, you asked about the Baltimore Roadrunners. Yeah, I've been a member of them ever since I came up to Baltimore. It's a great club. They put on, free or cheap races. They have a whole bunch of training groups around. It's a great group. And I also run with the Faster Bastards, as you can see. And we run in Druid Hill Park every Wednesday, so we're used to these hills. We hammer them every week.
Like home field advantage for you.
Yeah, coming back into the park, we hammer that hill every week.
Oof,
so
it's a big one.
I knew it was coming, and we're ready for that. Races like this in Baltimore Marathon, we crush those hills. So
that's great.
So we understand that your time in the Baltimore Marathon improved dramatically over a couple of years. We're going to ask you about that in a minute, but here we're going to get the leader of the women. Here we go.
Okay.
And there it is. First place.
She is just about
1:02:50. I believe that is Natalie Adebeck.
Wow. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Very good.
Speedy.
1:02:50.
That's
Congratulations
great.
to her, and I'm sure we will
there's
get her
Lizzie
up on
right
set
behind her
as well.
Yeah.
So, Jeremy, talk about your training, because, you improved by, 2 hours in 1 year at the Baltimore Marathon. How do you do that?
Well, I essentially didn't train for that first one, 10 miles a week, running once or twice a week. So it's easy to improve from that. But, essentially that got me fired up and got me back into running. That sort of lit a fire under me. I was like, I'm better than that, So I started training, and then I ran a marathon the next March after, about a half year later, and ran 3 flat, and then half a year later at Baltimore 240. So just upping mileage, went from 10 miles a week to averaging 45, doing 20-miler long runs, and then over the summer training for Baltimore, upping to 70 per week. And this past cycle I was averaging close to 90. So I'm hoping to keep it going, just trying to hold off these minor injuries that I feel once in a while and keep upping it.
They also told us that when you're not running, you're sort of busy from time to time, PhD candidate.
Yeah, just working in the lab down at University of Maryland Medical there. So I'm in a lab that researches whooping cough. We're trying to develop host-targeted therapeutics for treatment of disease. So that keeps me busy during the day for sure.
Well, can that would you say that, because you have to run a lot, you must have to budget your time in order to do that a lot. Would you say that could help other people as they go through their lives, to add that much exercise into their daily routine to keep it possible?
I think it's amazing for me. You get the dopamine rush. It feels great. You come into the office or the lab and you feel good in the morning. After work, maybe you had a tough day, you're stressed, you go run, you feel great afterwards. So
that's something.
Really is a great stress reliever and makes you feel good.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
So you live in Ridgely's Delight now. Where are you originally from? Baltimore?
Originally from Silver Spring, Maryland.
Okay.
So 45 minutes down the road.
Yep,
yeah.
Great. All right. Well, Jeremy Ardnoy, congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Winning the Baltimore 10-miler. We really appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for covering this.
And in just a little bit, we're going to speak with the winner on the women's side as well. So stick around. We're going to take a quick break, hear from some of our sponsors. We're back after this on WMAR2 News coverage of the Baltimore 10-mile. Welcome back in to the 2019 Baltimore Marathon. We have our men and our women's champions for this year as well. However, we also still have thousands of runners still out there on the course running the Baltimore 10-miler as we speak. It is a absolutely spot-on, gorgeous morning in Druid Hill Park and around Baltimore for the 10-miler this year. It's incredible.
And Christian, just recapping the winners on the men's and women's side. On the men, Jeremy Ardenoy. We have it correct now, the pronunciation of his last name. Jeremy Ardenoy of Baltimore, 53 minutes and 15 seconds. That ties for second place all time. Ties Dave Burdan, who finished in second place this year behind Jeremy. On the female side, Natalie Adebeck, who we will be hearing from and speaking with very soon. She won, and she wins with a time of 1:02:50, and that is good for fourth place all time. That is 10 seconds.
Good time.
A little slower than third place. 10 seconds slower than third place all time. Michaela Courtney in 2012. 1:02:50 for Natalie. Congrats to her.
You know what was interesting talking to Jeremy was what he said about how, I'm going to use the word pain, but it's not. It's the he was feeling it on like mile 3 and 4. And as a competitive runner, you know your limits, but sometimes you got to push through it. And he just kept at it, and it's that combination of a physical game but a mental game where you know yourself well enough to know that my legs are burning, but that's just racing.
And you could tell.
Keep going.
Yeah, and you could tell. You could tell that toward the end there, and he admitted it. It was tough, and on his face you could see what he was going through, and he was telling his legs and his feet to keep going.
We're going to talk to the champion on the female side in just a moment. First, though, we're going to send it out to Eric and Mark over at Lake Montebello, where people are still getting around that turn.
Yeah, Christian, it's a very popular turn right now, as you can see. We're coming in waves of people around this turn, coming up the hills, grabbing the water, and you could just look around, and it looks like a tornado actually hit here with the water couplets. Mark's also been helping out a lot, delivering the water, and
it's
really
been fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been handing out Gatorade to a lot of the runners this morning and just seeing their faces, and they're very appreciative of all of the volunteers who are out here this morning who are helping them sort of in their journey to complete the race today.
Yeah, and it's unbelievable the amount of people that we've seen come around this turn. Over 5,000 runners out here today, or even more than that, as they make their way around the turn. If our photographer can pan around back to the other side of the turn here, you'll be able to actually see all of the cups. This is what we get to clean up at the end of the day, but you could tell everybody got their fair share of water as well as Gatorade to finish out the final stretch of the run, even though this is the halfway point, right?
Yes, although we're not supposed to tell people that. We're supposed to give them encouragement that they've still got a good ways to go.
Yeah, and overall, it's not too bad out here. A little bit of a breeze. We're not breaking too much of a sweat, unlike the runners, of course, soaking it in here as they come around the turn. But the sun is shining. A beautiful day for a 10-mile run out there, if that is your type of thing. But
and this almost feels like, I could be wrong, you would be the one to know, but this almost feels like the first weekend that it hasn't rained since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and this is actually finally a quiet stretch of weather. We've been talking about severe weather over the last 3 days, and luckily for us, things have quieted down this weekend, and we've lowered the humidity. Temperatures were in the 90s during the week, and this makes for perfect conditions for running because runners don't like it too hot, they don't like it too humid, and we just got the perfect balance and the perfect feel, and it's really all about the second wind. It's the mental game as you start to come out of this turn and start to climb over some of those hills to get back to the zoo, the winner's circle, and enjoying the party.
And I hope in some small way that we're able to help them get that second win by being able to pass out some refreshments, give themselves a little bit of something to drink to quench their thirst as they are making their way towards the finish line. But to me, the greatest thing about being out here today is that, the city's been through a lot in the past couple months. And we've seen it's been a stressful time for the city, but being out here on a day like today where you see everyone coming out, the camaraderie that you experience, it's really a beautiful day, I think, for Baltimore.
Yeah, and this really signifies what Baltimore is about. This run gives you a look at the whole city. You're going through different neighborhoods on your way to Lake Montebello, and then you're coming back down through different neighborhoods, and it really gives you a piece of camaraderie, like you were saying, as well as a piece of the history of the city and the run itself, and all the people that are here doing it. Over 5,000 people running this race, so it's pretty unbelievable. And you can see the smiles on a lot of these folks' face, as well as that guy, Sid.
Yes.
He came around with the flag. Oh, man, a lot of cheers for him.
Such a sight to see.
Such a sight to see. Great work that he's doing there, and great work with the ASA folks out here as well.
We definitely wish all of the runners who are participating in today's race good luck to making their way to the finish line. And definitely it's a good cause for everyone to participate one way or another, whether you're a runner or volunteering.
Yeah, Christian and Sean, we'll send it back over to you. We're going to hand some more water out and get these folks hydrated.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, big stuff here. We are joined by the first place champion on the women's side, Natalie Adeback. Natalie, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
How do you feel?
Feel pretty good. It was a great race today.
First time running this Baltimore 10-miler. What was unique? What challenges did you encounter? What did you think of the course and how you did?
Yeah, so I've done the Baltimore Half Marathon twice now, so it kind of goes along some of the similar route and everything. But I always love the route around the lake and the mix of hills and flats and downhills. So altogether, a really great course that I enjoyed.
A lot of people talk about that end after you've run, say, 8 or 9 miles. Now you got to come up a big hill. That's got to be tough.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried during that part. I was kind of just trying to focus on getting up that hill, and I wasn't sure if it was still straight uphill to the finish or not, but I just kind of was like, well, just kind of every step is closer to the finish, so just keep pushing.
What about the competition on the course? How much were you looking over your shoulder or kind of trying to push yourself ahead of who was behind you?
Yeah, so I felt pretty good going out, and then there was a group of about 3 girls, and then I got to around the lake, around between like mile 4 and 5. I kind of just felt good and decided to push a bit and went for it.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking, because when you haven't run this race before, so did you come in expecting to be one of the top competitors, and was it actually during the race where you thought, hey, maybe I can win this thing?
Yeah, I was kind of going into today, kind of wanted to see what I could do and push myself, and during the first mile or two when I saw everyone kind of clear out and settle in, I was like, all right.
That's you, brother.
What is that? How does that feel? I mean, what do you remember from that moment?
I was very thankful to see the finish line at that point.
How different is a 10-miler from a half marathon? Obviously a marathon, but like a half marathon. I mean, what kind of mentally, what's the challenge there? Physically, what's the challenge? I mean, how different really is a 10-miler as opposed to like a half marathon?
Yeah, so this is actually my first time in the 10-mile distance. I've done quite a few half marathons, so I'm familiar with that distance, but I would say you kind of just want to push yourself a little bit earlier. In a half marathon, you would kind of right at mile 10 kind of start thinking about getting down to finishing on empty, but in this I was kind of like, all right, well, mile 8, you start pushing and everything. So it's honestly, I would say, similar training and similar mindset, but you just kind of have to push earlier.
Wow. Well, great job today. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And you're winning the Baltimore 10-mile. I'm going to put you on the spot right here if I can. Will you come back next year to defend your title?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes.
Very
there
good.
we go.
We'd like to hear that.
Like to hear that. Congratulations, Natalie Adeback.
Thank you.
Winning the Baltimore 10-miler here today. Terrific.
Yeah, very good. We are going to send it to Megan and Lynette right now. They're at the finish line.
More
Ladies, what do you have?
All right, guys. Yeah, so we are at the finish line. You can see the runners trickling in behind us. But, we're at a different view right now, and we can actually see the finish, and it makes me happy. So, Megan Knight, I can imagine what the viewers are feeling coming through the finish line.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, the crowd that has gathered since, we started to see more of the runners starting to trickle in is great. Everybody's cheering for them, getting them through that last stretch there because, this is a hard course from what I hear.
I know.
Never ran it myself, but I hear that it is a pretty difficult course. So to be coming down around that corner, down the stretch here, seeing that big old finish sign, that's got to feel good.
I know, we were talking, and I was like, the course is beautiful, but Megan Knight's like, Lynette, there's hills, and the hills are at the end.
But it's pretty.
I know.
It is a pretty course, but, it's also a very challenging course.
It is a challenging course, and, the sun has come out now.
Yeah, where'd that sun go?
Exactly, and you know what we say, sun's out.
Guns out.
There you go.
That happened.
Exactly. And a lot of guns out here because the guns need to be out as they're running through the area and the finish line. So it really looks good, and we've really been trying to cheer the runners on at the end because they need it. And it's just amazing, too, Megan Knight, how you really see, like, the last kick that they have. Like, you would think that they're exhausted.
Right.
But at the end, they really get
it,
you know?
Do you want to show?
I said that last kick.
Yeah.
They get it. That last kick,
That kick, it's incredible. I guess when you see, again, those big words finish, like, your body is just like, get there.
You get that extra adrenaline or something going
Whatever it is, it helps, and it gets them through the finish line. And
exactly.
It's got to feel so good. It's not even 9 o'clock yet, and they just ran 10 miles.
I know. We looked at
what are we doing with our life?
We looked at the clock. I was like, Megan Knight, it's only like 8:30.
And they all ran 10 miles, so
exactly.
They got to feel pretty good.
And they're still coming through.
They're still coming.
Yeah, and then you look at their faces. They start out, looking nice and happy and refreshed and calm.
Not sweaty.
I know, and some of them still coming through feeling pretty good. Again, that adrenaline, I guess, kicking in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But then some of them, you could tell that they are really pushing it. They've had it.
Yeah.
But the finish line, it's there, and it feels good to them.
Yeah, and they got to feel great that they just accomplished something like
I like that feeling.
I do, too. How can we accomplish that without running 10 miles?
I know.
We'll have to think about that.
Was it Mark the one that asked us when we were going to do it?
Oh, yeah,
Remember?
Mark Raganese,
Yes.
yeah.
He's like, when are you guys going to do it? And Megan and I were like, bye, Mark.
We'll catch you next year. Bye. Yeah, so no, definitely a very energetic feeling down here at the finish line as people are cheering on their loved ones as they're making their way to finish that Baltimore 10-miler.
Yeah.
The sun is out for them.
Feels good.
Feels good.
And there's like one guy that's been here for a while. He's on a bike. He's behind us right now.
Yeah.
But he's really been cheering them on. At the end, he's like, way to end. Be strong, be strong.
Looking good, yeah.
We're kind of in a competition with them because we're trying to yell too, but don't say it out loud.
I think we're winning, but we don't know. Maybe that might be a little biased.
Exactly. But we know, like, the runners really appreciate that extra effort in the end.
I hope
people
so.
cheering them on. Well, they do. Like, we actually got, like, a little thank you note last time that we did that. So, we don't do it for all that. But, it is what it is. We love the people, and that's how we roll.
That's how we roll. That's right. All right, so I think we're going to take a little break.
Yes, we are.
And we're going to keep going here. So stay with us for our coverage of the Baltimore 10-miler. We'll see you after the break.
WMAR 2 News Wrangler. Wrangling up news here in Druid Hill Park, where we have a men's champion and a women's champion for the Baltimore 10-miler.
Yes, Jeremy Ardenoy of Baltimore wins it on the men's side, and Natalie Adebeck of Bethesda, Maryland, wins it on the women's side.
Yeah,
right now, Erin McPherson is standing by in the Runners Village, and she has another runner that she is going to be speaking with. Erin?
Yes, runners are starting to make their way in here, and we have one gentleman with us, Eric Schuler, who actually placed 4th this year in the 10-miler with about a 5:30 pace, you said?
Yeah, 5:30.
How are you feeling after this race?
Tired, but not too bad. Not too bad.
Now, I know we were talking about the weather conditions. Some of us were a little chilly out here this morning, but they're perfect for runners.
Yeah, just about perfect. I've done this race a few times, and this is probably the best weather they've had for this race. Usually it's pretty hot and humid, but it's pretty cool. Not super humid today, so.
And running is kind of your forte. I mean, the 10-miler, but you've also done some pretty big marathons as well. Talk to me about that.
Right. I did the Boston Marathon a couple months ago. That went pretty well. It was my 3rd Boston, so.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, people running a 10-miler out here has me tired. We were talking about, I can't imagine doing that, but a Boston Marathon, how is your time compared this year to the times that you've done before?
A little slower, but only about a minute off my best time on this course, so.
So what now? I know you said you got some fuel, you got some drinks. What now?
Take a bit of rest and have some fun. They usually have a pretty good post-race party here, so they have some live music and stuff, so go have some fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Eric, and congratulations. 4th place winner for the men over here. Awesome, with about 5:30 pace, right? So awesome. He finished, what was the time again?
55:40 something.
55:40. Incredible. And we're going to talk with some other runners coming in here to the Runners Village for the party time after here, so make sure you stay with us.
Okay, Aaron, thanks very much for that. And you heard it in his interview. It's kind of the transition, like the competitive race is over. Time to have some fun.
Yeah.
Right. That's what's going on back there.
Yeah, behind us, Runners Village. It's a beach theme this year for the Baltimore 10-miler, and they have a Jimmy Buffett cover band. So, I can smell the grills, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say Jimmy Buffett. There's going to be some cheeseburgers in paradise here
could happen.
as these runners refuel, re-energize after a really competitive race.
Yeah, it was fun
some times for you. On the men's side, Jeremy Ardenoy, 53:15. Dave Burdan, the 4-time champion, he comes in 2nd place. He won it in 2017 and 18. He comes in 2nd place this year with a time of 53:58. Andrew Madison, 55:17. On the women's side, Natalie Adebeck, 102:51. Caroline Bauer, 104:24. Lizzie Royer, 104:39. Those are your top finishers on the men's and women's side, the 2019 Baltimore 10-miler.
So when you say that time for Dave Burdan, it doesn't sound like, and we haven't spoken with him yet, that he was injured in any way. He still had a great time. It sounds like Jeremy Ardenoy just beat him. He had a great race. Here's your winner on the women's side once again.
That's
Across
Natalie.
the finish line, Natalie Adebeck. With that win, she's out of Davidson College. Competitive runner there. She's kept it up, and she won the race today.
Now, we mentioned as we look at Jeremy, this is Jeremy Ardenoy's
I wonder if we'll
finish.
see him do that look over his shoulder in this shot. Or at this point, he might have already known.
Yeah,
he doesn't need to look back anymore.
If I recall correctly, he wasn't really looking too much over his shoulder. He knew he was going to win here.
At this
he
point,
had the
he
official.
knew.
He had the official time of 53:15. Dave Burdan was 2nd place, the 4-time champion. As Ardenoy finishes right there, as you watch it, he ties for the 2nd fastest time with Dave Burdan from 2015. Burdan's time this year was 53:58, and that is 5th place.
That would have been fast enough to win.
Actually, now it's 6th place all time.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. So,
like I say, he didn't have a bad race. He had a good race.
Yeah.
It's just that Jeremy Ardenoy, who is apparently just continuing to improve his times in all his races, came in today and ran a fantastic Baltimore 10-miler.
Yeah, really exciting, competitive.
Yeah.
And it's great to see now as everybody comes into Runners Village. We hear the band starting, Sons of Pirates, the Jimmy Buffett cover band. And as we take a live look at the finish line, there are the waves and waves
You're almost done, guys.
of runners. 5,000 runners from 35 states and north of the border in Canada joining us in Baltimore on this lovely morning, beautiful morning. Couldn't ask for better weather for a race as we hear the personal record bell going off right beside our stage where we are situated at the top of Runners Village. That bell that you're going to be hearing over the next hour, and welcome to the third hour of our coverage here at the Baltimore 10-miler as we just passed 9 o'clock here. The bell, there you go, you see it. We're going to hear people walk up to that bell, ring that bell right here. As you see it, that's the personal record bell. They set a personal record here at the 10-miler.
That's a good race. A nice run and a perfect day to do it. And again, we talk about it all the time, but it's a lot of competition for these folks, a lot of fun day for them and their families as well, but it's also helping out a lot of local charities here in the Baltimore area through the running of the Baltimore 10-miler. 12 years now for this race.
I don't know about you, but I just get tired watching people run 10 miles.
I'm telling you.
These guys and girls, they've got to be on cloud 9 right now, being able to finish this competitive race, this 10-miler.
Yeah, and then they can walk up here and do interviews with us after they did it like nothing ever happened.
Right.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So, and then you heard Jeremy talk about it too, which I thought was really interesting. He talked about the positive feeling that he gets after he runs a tough race. He actually feels better after he runs. He have a tough day. He goes out and runs in the evening because he likes the way it makes him feel.
A lot of people, you talk to these runners, a lot of runners, today they'll run this race, and tomorrow they'll run something else, whether it be usually like a half marathon.
They've got the whole schedule down for the summer, and this really starts it off for a lot of them.
Yeah.
This 10-miler today. Boy, starting to fill up now.
Yeah.
Big crowd going to be out here in the Runners Village.
Love to see that. Right now we're going to go back to the finish line. Lynette Charles is standing by. Lynette?
Hello, yes. We're having a good old time down here at the finish line.
So much fun. We can finally hear the music. The more runners are coming in. And you know what I've been monitoring, Megan Knight? I've been waiting for, remember little Madeline and Melody? I've been waiting for their, they have the sign, Go Daddy.
Yeah.
And their daddy's name is Derek. So I've been waiting for them to get excited. So I know that Derek's coming as well. So we can really cheer for him.
Yeah, we want to cheer for him.
Because you can see them looking right now.
Yeah.
So I guess he's coming pretty soon.
Yeah, no, this is great. We've got we got cowbells here. We've got all kinds of cheering going on.
Yeah, it's weird. It seems like just like in the last few minutes, like things really got louder and really picked up out here.
It's a fun it's like a party down here at the finish line as we're cheering on these runners.
It is.
Making their way down the finish line.
Yeah, and it can only go, how would you board it? It can only go downhill from here, literally, or it can only go uphill from here because they're finishing.
Right.
Yeah, depending on how you look at it.
Depending on how you look at it, yes. But it's good. It's good stuff. Yeah, we're starting to see more runners coming in clusters. They were very spread out initially. But now we're starting to see more of the big groups coming in. Starting to see people, we were talking earlier about that adrenaline push when you see the finish line and watching people kind of trying to compete. I don't know if they've been running with that person, like this guy right there. Look at that.
Yeah.
Woo!
And then we remember the ones Remember the ones that we saw they were talking to each other at first. I don't know if they were okay, let's go, and then they raced each other or something. But it's just neat. I mean, athletes are special people.
If you're talking while you're finishing this race, hats off to you, man.
I'm exhausted just doing this broadcast.
I would be splayed out on the. We got an athlete serving athlete, I think, coming up here.
Where they say it? Yes,
there they are.
And I love it. Okay, so we
got to see the name.
Yes, and that's why I love the athletes serving athletes because they have the name. So we're going to cheer these runners on.
This is the first one we've seen.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
this is the first one passing through.
Here they come.
So who do we have here?
Athletes serving.
We are looking at
Kaylee.
Kaylee. Yeah, it's a Kaylee. Woo! Yeah, Kaylee. Woo! Nice.
Good job, Kaylee.
Yes. Nice. And then they have the shirts that say Wingman. Wingman. Yeah. Yes. It's really nice.
Yep.
It's a great atmosphere out here.
It really is. And I think it's great. The sun's out. I don't know if the runners like that too much, but
I know. I'm thinking no.
Yeah. That makes it a little warmer. But,
exactly.
we got the sun out, which is great. And, again, seeing their faces as they're getting ready to make their way to the finish line. They got to feel good.
Oh, definitely.
And accomplished.
Accomplished. That's the word. Accomplished is definitely the word.
You know, you see some of them like they like get in that little competition with somebody else.
Exactly. And I think they call it runner's high. Like you get that. Like we wouldn't know. You know,
I would not have any idea what that feels like. But I think we're watching it.
It's a runner's
so
high.
That, you know, we can appreciate that.
Exactly.
All right.
All right, yeah. So again, you know, what makes me happy to see too, of course the runners and the finish line part, but also all the people cheering them on.
Yeah.
So it was funny like how we started the morning and there were a few people off in the grass
Couple of people.
and you know, bordering the streets. But now there's way more people out there. They have their signs up, like you said, the cowbell is out there as well.
Oh, the two little girls, they got their GoDaddy signs.
There they are. That's Melody and Madeline.
Oh my gosh, they're so cute.
Yeah, and their dad's name is Derek.
And
so
Derek,
we're waiting for Derek to come
we're waiting for Derek to come through.
And I'll know Derek when they start jumping up, cheering up and down. So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, lots of signs out here, lots of cowbells out here.
And of course, too, you know, whenever you're running races or you're doing any type of event, you have to stay safe and be safe. So you always have medics out here.
Yes.
So far, I will say that I haven't seen anything. So I'm
another
hoping
athlete.
that it's, you know, everybody's been okay and been safe so far.
Yeah.
So definitely keeping our fingers crossed.
Okay, another athlete serving athlete coming up here.
All
Get
right,
ready.
let's get a name. Let's get a name. Let's get a name.
Coming down the.
What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Is that Sean? Yay! Go Sean! Go Sean! Woo! There we go. Yes, Sean's crossing the finish line in just a second. So yeah, so this is great. Again, and it's funny too. So remember how you were talking about how you how we saw like everything was spread out, at least the runners.
Yeah.
And then I was saying, and you were saying like how I kind of like it when they cluster.
Yeah.
You know,
Makes it easier to cheer. You know.
It does.
You start cheering every 10 seconds. Yeah, now we can just do
Exactly.
long, continuous cheers as we get these bigger crowds coming through here.
It's good. It really is. It's really good to see.
Yeah, it's a fun time. So we got a couple athletes serving athletes.
Yes.
Props to those team members. They take turns, you know, pushing the wheelchairs there, and it's just incredible that they do that and what they do for those kids.
And you know what I haven't seen too much of this year though?
What's that?
The costumes. Like sometimes like people like will have the tutus on.
Yeah.
I have seen some real cool, funky looking socks.
We've
that
seen
I liked.
some superhero
Yes,
stuff.
the Flash. Yes, saw the Flash.
Yeah.
And then we did see like a little, like a glitter. Some 2 women or 3 women
Oh,
like
yeah.
had glitter skirts on.
Yes, yeah, like the
So
hula
it's good.
skirts.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Have some fun.
Yeah, right?
I mean, I could see me running in some glitter.
Yeah. I mean, we had to make it fabulous, right? If we're gonna run like that,
Exactly.
we gotta.
Here we go. Okay, so Derek's coming.
Is that?
Yes. Okay, so
there's
Daddy.
Derek.
Derek. Go Derek! You did it, Derek! Woo! Good job, Melanie!
Yay, Daddy!
Good job, Madeline! Woo! All right, so we saw him finish.
That's great. That's great. We were able to
I
get that
know,
on live
that's awesome.
television.
This
That's
is
the
really
beauty
good.
of live television, man. You just never know what's going to happen. All right, so I think we got to take
Go to
another
the break?
break.
Yep, sounds
So let's
good.
go to break. We're going to stay right here at the finish line. Keep cheering everybody on. Stay with us. You're watching WMART News and the Baltimore 10 Miler.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
See you again.
Okay, we are back live now at the Baltimore 10-miler, the Runners Village, starting to fill up as more runners cross that finish line. Today, a gorgeous 10-bell day in Baltimore. Let's send it out to Erin. She's in Runners Village now.
Welcome back, everyone, to our live coverage for the WMAR Baltimore 10-miler. Now, we are in Runners Village right now. We have some awesome music. The party is really starting. I do have one runner here, Rebecca. And this was your first race, right?
My first Baltimore 10-miler, yes.
Yeah, you're an avid runner, so not your first race, first Baltimore 10-miler. So how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. Beautiful weather, no rain, sunshine. You can't ask for more perfect weather.
Now, I know we were talking about how you have been running a lot. Now, why did you want to come to this specific race?
To be honest with you, I ran the Frederick Half a couple weeks ago. It was pouring rain, so I had to redeem myself. I wanted that beautiful weather and a great run, so that's what I did today.
And since it was your first time on this course, what is your feeling? I know the weather was great, but what about the course in general?
You know, I heard it was hilly. It was a little challenging, but I love challenges. It was a great course.
You're definitely feeling good today.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And I know the big thing that we technically consider this a PR, right? So we do have the PR bell over, we can see that. So we're going to make sure that you ring that PR bell before you leave, because this is technically your PR here, right?
It sure is, absolutely.
Well, congratulations, and I know we have a shot of the PR bell going on right now. Some people, I only heard about one ding so far. Hopefully we'll get some more over there, but the party is really just getting started out here, and we're going to talk with a ton of more runners. As Sean Stepner was saying earlier, there's a lot of people running for certain charities, so we're hoping to talk with some of those people and see why they decided to run this race today. Back to you guys.
Okay, Erin McPherson out there in the Runners Village, thanks very much for that. And yeah, we are going to talk about that. Joined now by Lee Corrigan, Corrigan Sports Enterprise, as well as Bill Hooper, who's the general manager of Maryland's first television station, as well as the Signal 13 Foundation. And that is one of the organizations that gets a big benefit from the Baltimore 10-miler. Before, though, we talk about that, Lee, can I get a real quick reaction when you hear a first-time runner of the Baltimore 10-miler when she talks about how much she loves the course? That's got to feel good for you.
Yeah, it does, you know, and I happen to be in the lead vehicle with the police officer, and it was the police did an awesome job setting up the course in terms of controlling traffic. All of our water stops were really, really well manned, and there was a ton of people out there banging pots and pans and cheering. It was very vibrant out there, and I think we're in for a great day here at the finish.
That's terrific.
That's awesome. Now, Bill Hooper, president of the Signal 13 Foundation,
That's right.
Also general manager of WMAR2. But with your work with the Signal 13 Foundation, can you talk a little bit about what Signal 13 is all about?
Sure. So Signal 13 is the universal call for officer down in distress. So we are a group, an organization that supports Baltimore City Police with grants when they get in financial trouble. Sometimes these guys get hurt on the job. They have extra. They can't get their overtime. They can't get their secondary job, and they fall behind. So there's a way to apply for a grant, and then we support the police that way. We also have a pretty robust scholarship program for both officers who have died in the line of duty and their children, as well as just the entire department can apply for scholarships, and we're expanding that pretty aggressively.
Such an amazing foundation.
It takes money to do that.
Yes,
I mean,
it does.
You got to fund these things, and so the way it works with the 10-miler is, Lee, this deal where you got a police officer who is apparently one of the fastest police officers.
He's hurting us
anywhere because he's passing all these people, and then when he passes somebody, you get money for the Signal 13. Right?
That's exactly the way we set it up. We create a little public relations opportunity here. So you guys talk about it before the event, during the event, and then after the event, which is great recognition and exposure for the Signal 13 Foundation. And yeah, he passed over 3,900 folks, and we are proud to make a donation.
That's incredible.
And we have the check ready to go.
Check. There it is. Big check.
So
see how we do this.
All right, here we go.
So
$3,900.
There we go. Let's And that's really all you need to see, folks. we don't need to see our mugs.
They see enough of us on there.
It
But
should be noted that Lee is also on the board in
Yeah.
Signal 13, so we appreciate his work. He also supports
There's the number.
He supports Signal 13 with the 10 miler. I mean, the
Unbelievable.
marathon.
what an effort. It's terrific. And congratulations again. And, yeah, thanks very much for coming up and talking about the Signal 13 Foundation and what has to be considered a big success and a lot of money raised for the foundation today.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some other charities, of course, that benefit.
Sure.
Our host right here, the Maryland Zoo, which obviously you guys are doing a great job showcasing what a beautiful facility this is. And, you know, we got a heck of a party here going. It's going to be great. And then, of course, Mark Raganey's Family Trust, one of our own Corrigan Sports Enterprise employees that got tragically injured a number of years ago, and he's part of our team, and we do everything we can to continue to support him, of course, you know, and then the Building for God Foundation, who is doing great work out there in the community. So we're super proud to do it, and it's a great way to give back to the community and also coalesce the whole community behind this event.
Lee, when during this time of the Baltimore 10 miler, when everybody's coming in, everybody's, you know, refueling and having their fun, listening to the band, is this really the most fun time to be part of this event?
Absolutely. This right now, and then at the very end at like 2 o'clock when we pull the truck door down at the end, and somebody hands me a beer.
That's great.
I tell you what, it's going to be tough to top this weather-wise next year. If we can get another day like this for the 2020 Baltimore 10 miler, I think we'd take it.
I think you're right.
Yeah, this is terrific. What a great day here in Baltimore.
Very good.
So Bill Hooper, thanks so much for coming up and sit with us for a little bit, talking about the Signal 13 Foundation. Lee, congratulations on the success once again of the 10 miler and of all the charities it is helping in Baltimore City today. I believe we're going to help send it back over to Aaron out in the Runners Village, which is starting to fill up.
Yes, it is definitely starting to fill up here at the Runners Village. I mean, just take a look at the difference. We had some empty grass here for a while, but now everybody's finishing coming in. Music is playing. People are eating, drinking, having a good time. Now, there is some great people finishing this race. Now, I just met the Lentz family. They ran this race together. Well, different times, right? I think we know the winner, right?
Yeah.
And you said that you waited at the finish line for them?
Yeah, I did. So waiting for them to finish.
She had plenty of time to wait for us.
Oh, I'm sure it wasn't that much time. But why did you guys decide to, do this together, do this as a family?
Yeah, we're starting to kick off summer training for this summer. I do cross country in the fall. We all want to run together this summer.
Yeah. We've been running together for a long time, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's a good way to kick off summer.
So you guys have been together for a while?
We like to exercise a lot, so we do a lot of running on the NCR Trail in northern Baltimore County, and we do some road races here and there. We've done a couple of half marathons, so we'd like to do our share of running.
So, I mean, why do you guys I know so it's fun to run this long. I mean, a lot of people,
This is kind of on the upper limits of for right now, but it was kind of a challenge just to be able to get the 10 miles in. So.
And I know this isn't your whole family here.
Missing Ridley, we love you.
That's your 12-year-old daughter at home. Now she's interested in running, not.
She had no interest in running 10 miles.
I don't blame her, absolutely. Well, it's awesome that you guys did this together. Thank you so much for talking with us. And I think we are either going to. I think we're going to take a quick break right now. So we'll be back in just a minute.
Yeah, we're back after this for more coverage for the Baltimore 10 miler. Okay, welcome back into WMAR 2 News coverage of the Baltimore 10 miler. You were looking at beautiful Lake Montebello in northeast Baltimore, where runners are still out there crossing that 4th and 5th mile, making their way back toward Druid Hill Park to finish at their Baltimore 10 miles. They got already a lot of them back here in the park.
What awaits them when they get back?
A party.
A personal record bell, which we keep hearing go off.
Been hearing a lot of those.
Awesome. And some food and drink, and some bands, and some partying.
It's a great day.
So we're having fun. We are just about almost 2 hours into the official race time.
Yep.
I mean, it started at 7:30.
Yep.
So there are still people finishing up now. Your winner on the men's side, Jeremy Ardenoy of Baltimore, and your winner on the women's side, Natalie Adebeck of Bethesda. She won the Baltimore 10 miler this year.
Congratulations to both of them. This shot from the drone is incredible. You're going to start seeing that Runners Village filling up. We're going to send it, though, back to the start-finish line where Megan and Lynette are to see if there are still people crossing and how it's looking out there.
It's looking great. It's a party out here, like I've been
is.
saying. It is a good. Oh, we missed.
We missed one.
Sorry, we've been trying to cheer for every serving athlete that comes by, and we
Yes.
missed one. Gosh darn it.
Yeah. Eric,
Okay.
let us know when they're behind us so we
Yeah.
can turn around and get
Yeah,
to
give us a wave or something. Anyway, but we've seen several of them come by in the last 10, 15 minutes or so. So
and they're so happy. Like, they want the cheers. It's a good time. And again, it's going to get loud. It's going to get loud again. We've been having a good time, that's for sure, as usual.
yeah. I think I'm starting to lose my voice.
I need a lozenger. I need a lozenger.
A lozenger? Cough drop? Just like
cough drop. But yeah, and it's funny. So, I've been forecasting, Eric and I, the weather team, been forecasting all week long, and, we did have the chance for showers in the forecast, but more in the afternoon.
Okay.
This morning, and it's funny, I'm not a runner, as you can see, but I wonder what type of conditions they really like to run in. I wonder if they'd rather run in rain than like a really hot day. Hello!
Hey! Yes!
So I wonder. I don't know. I'd love to know that. Here's one.
Oh,
Here's
oh,
one.
oh.
Yep, we have somebody coming. We're athletes serving athletes. Eric, where are you? Where we have it? We have it.
Wait, they're coming.
Oh, here we
go.
Okay, so we have a little bit of time. We have a little bit of time.
Oh, we do?
We're stepping away. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna stand out of the way.
I know. Yeah,
they need all their glory.
Yeah. So again, so I wonder because now the sun is really starting to beat
Yeah,
down a
it's
bit.
starting to get warm.
So just standing out there for us, you can feel it.
Right. Yeah.
So I can
exactly.
only imagine what they're feeling at this point.
Okay.
Hello.
all the wonderful people.
So here
People
they come.
still so nice.
Looking. Say it again, Megan Knight.
So people are so nice.
Oh, there's a gem. I love working this one. I'll do this to the day I die if they allow me to.
Here we go. Who do we have, Lynette?
See. Who do we have? I'm trying to duck. Do you see? Who do we got? Terrence! Go Terrence! Woo-hoo! All right, so we have Terrence there. Yeah, so we'll have more trickling in, and that's what's been going on this morning. So exciting. Again, they have their wingmen with them, pushing them over the line, and this is what we like to see. Again, anything that has like a big crowd and love and camaraderie, I'm all about that. You always need to sing Kumbaya right now.
Okay.
It's so fast. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Yay.
Yay.
We asked for music, you got the music.
That's right. Gotta make our
And
own
also
music.
we said, I told Megan Knight, I was like, Megan Knight, do you know how many times we've said music? People could be having a drinking game with that, and they'd be pretty messed up right now.
Yeah, they would.
Music.
Yeah.
Music.
Take a drink. So we're gonna keep on cheering.
Yep.
For the people, we're gonna lose our voice. I don't want to have a voice by the end of this. That's my goal.
She's just trying not to go to work on Monday. That's all she's doing there.
Don't get me in trouble.
I so wouldn't.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So again, look at what's going on.
Yeah,
people
should we
are
step
really
aside
wrapping.
so
Yeah,
you can
so
see
people
your
are
family
wrapping
and
up.
friends?
Still coming to
Yes.
the finish line. Oh, and another thing, Megan Knight, I wanted to point out.
Yes.
We were looking at how so many people, it's just a new age, a new generation. How people whip out their phones.
Yes.
So they can see themselves crossing the finish line.
Because if you don't put it on social media, it did not happen.
It did not happen. My goal would just be crawling to the finish line. Forget the phone.
Right.
But so many people have been doing that as they cross.
Yes, we have seen quite a few people. Actually, more than I can remember.
Yeah, here's another one right here.
Oh.
I hope Manny's getting this one. This one that he's crossing the fence
We
with
have
his phone
seen.
out.
We've
his
seen
red phone. Yeah, he's crossing.
Yeah, that's right.
But he looks like he's not in any pain whatsoever.
Oh, we got
another. Yes, this is so fabulous. Good job. Woohoo!
Yeah, we've got a couple people in wheelchairs competing, in addition to the athlete serving athletes
exactly.
there.
And it's always something good to see. You have the people cheering. And then also a good one is when you see the people, actually the runners together. Like they'll try to like cheer each other on together over the finish line.
Yeah,
so,
that's really good to see.
It
We've
is.
seen, we saw a mom with her little kid. Remember she grabbed him and ran across.
Ran across the finish line.
I died.
All right, so
we got Batman.
What do we have? Batman? Oh,
Yes.
nice. There's Batman.
Lots of
Again, I
superhero
saw
shit.
Flash too. I can't wait to see Flash. Yeah. With that said, Megan Knight, we're going to send it back over to Christian and Sean at the set. So, guys, what do you have for us right now?
Okay, thanks, Megan and Lynette.
To see the
They're having fun
athletes,
out there.
serving athletes, finish this
great.
race.
It is
we
such-
talked about it off the top before the race started. And we knew it's always emotional, it's always inspirational. And just to see that happen live, I mean,
and it's such a challenge for those teams that do it.
Yeah.
But they feel great, and you can feel the joy from every member of that team crossing that finish line when you see it. What a
question.
sight.
No
Incredible.
question.
Before they crossed the finish line, there were some earlier racers who crossed the finish line in some pretty impressive times today, including the winner on the men's side, Jeremy Ardenoy. We came in thinking perhaps it would be Dave Burdan winning again. It was not. It was Jeremy Ardenoy, and this is the video from about an hour ago when he came across the finish line here in Druid Hill Park.
Yeah, Jeremy Ardenoy, 26 years old, from Baltimore, lives in Ridgely's Delight. He won the Baltimore 10-miler on the men's side, first overall, with a time of 53:15, and that is ties for second place all time. Again, this is the 12th 10-miler.
He said he was starting to feel the burn in his legs around mile 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And you just push through for another half hour, 40 minutes of running, and he did it.
Yeah, and we made reference toward the end there of Jeremy kind of pushing and chugging through, and you could tell in his face, in his body language, what he was trying to tell his body.
It takes
keep going, keep pushing, get up that hill. And he looked behind himself for a couple times, didn't see anybody. No one. I mean, he blew the competition away, really.
He did.
And
He was way
in
ahead.
He was in the lead for most of, if not all, of this race this year.
Takes a strong body, but also a strong mind to win the Baltimore 10-miler.
Yeah.
On the women's side this year, it was Natalie Adebeck, 27 years old from Bethesda, who crossed the finish line first. And then when we talked to her after the race, it looked like she just walked out of the house this morning. She was, whatever, I could do another interview now. She looked like she was ready to run the 10 miles again.
Yeah, Natalie Adebeck, she won with a time of 102.50. That's fourth all time. This year in the 2019 Baltimore 10-miler, she was 18th overall. Number one on the women's side, 18th overall, and we see her cross the finish line right there.
That was, you hear
Inspiring.
that. It's inspirational is what it is to hear people like that are so dedicated to getting so good at doing this thing that helps them so much in their lives. It was great.
Yeah.
Nice talking to her too.
Aaron McPherson is standing by in the Runner's Village. Aaron, what do you have?
Oh, well, I've been meeting some pretty awesome people out here, and I actually ran into the male winner, Jeremy's running group here. So we have this awesome running group. Tell me about your group.
Well, we're a self-identified group of runners that just likes to have fun, drink, and run fast, and we love Baltimore. And you can pretty much catch us at the Canton Waterfront on Saturdays at 9 a.m. We're going to switch to 8 a.m. as it gets warmer. We also have a Wednesday night run here in Druid Hill Park, and a Thursday night trail run, and a Sunday bike ride out in the county that we host.
So you run in this area. So are you familiar with this course that you guys ran today?
Yeah, every Wednesday night we have a group of runners out here that push each other to get faster and are out here just running and doing the hills and trying to get their fitness in and running in Baltimore. We love it here.
Now, how did the group do today overall?
Well, we have the first place winner with Jeremy over there hiding. Jeremy, wave your hand. And we have a top female finisher here with Lizzie Royer.
We definitely want to show her too. So we have the third place winner for the women. Yeah, absolutely. So you are the third place winner for the women. How was the race today?
It was great. It wasn't as humid as it normally is, so in my mind, felt good. Nice sunshine. So.
talking with these guys, they said that some people, I guess, you might not stay together all the time, but you were saying there's one thing that you will always do.
We always wait for each other to finish.
It's an important thing.
Cheer everybody else on that's not even in our crew. Got to cheer on Baltimore and the running community.
And that's what this is all about?
There's other groups, Riot Squad. Help me out, guys. We got Black Runners Organization, Charm City Run, Falls Road Running. Sugar Gliders. Yeah, definitely the Sugar Gliders. Yeah.
So there's just a number of the running clubs. But why is it important to, not just go out and run by yourself, but have this giant group of people with you, supporting you, and the whole community supporting you?
Well, different groups bring different things, and our group is really good at helping people get faster because you get left behind. I'm always in the back, so it doesn't work for me, but a lot of the guys who come out, they start off running with us, and next thing you know, they're PRing at races, they're winning first place here and stuff like that, so it's really great to cheer each other on. When one of us wins, I think we all feel like we all win, so that's great. But the great thing about all the groups in Baltimore is that there's something for everybody, and that's why we cheer for everyone. Not everybody wants to run with us, but if you want to run with one of the other groups, you're going to have your choices. So just hit us up. We'll tell you where you belong, and if you belong with us, we'd love you to run with us.
Thank you so much. You have a lot to celebrate here with everybody doing such a good job today. And it seems like everybody's going to be celebrating here in the Runners Village for quite a while. But we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back into WMAR2 News exclusive coverage of the 2019 Baltimore 10-miler. Runners still crossing the finish line. It is a beautiful day here in Druid Hill Park for the Baltimore 10-miler. What a day.
Now, as we've been mentioning over the course of this broadcast, Baltimore 10-miler benefits so many charities in and around Baltimore, and we are pleased to be joined by Foundation board member of the Building for God Community Foundation, Tom Mooney. Tom, thanks for joining us. Tell us a little bit about Building for God.
Sean, the Building for God Community Foundation is a group of about 40 individuals on our board, and we assist housing in Baltimore City. We assist education programs, safety for kids after school programs, safety in school programs. not only in Baltimore but in a national program as well. And we underwrite about 30 different nonprofits throughout Baltimore City and Baltimore County over a 10-year period. And it's been a wonderful endeavor so far, and we're grateful. We're very grateful to Lee Corrigan and the Baltimore 10 Miler for making a donation to our organization again this year.
Tom, it just doesn't, the need is there in Baltimore for the services that this group provides, but it takes that financial assistance to keep that process going.
Exactly, and today is just is a small part of being a part of this community, because this race is so much a part of Baltimore. I love this race except for mile 9. Mile 9 has the hill.
You're not alone, for sure.
And the one thing, at least I didn't have to walk it this year. Somehow
Wow.
I crawled up. I crawled up this
Congratulations.
year. I didn't walk.
How you feel? I mean, you ran the race. How you feeling?
Relieved. More than anything.
That's great.
As I get older, I know I'm not going to have a personal best out here.
Yeah.
But we are very, very grateful to have this race as part of our community group.
Yeah.
And the Baltimore, or the Building for God Community Foundation just is a part of Baltimore, and that's what we like to be.
And Corrigan Sports, I'm reading, donated $1,500 to the foundation this year.
They did. I was here for a press conference the other day, and they gave me a big check. Said it was really nice.
You always like those.
I do.
Bill Hooper here as well from WMAR2 News, the general manager, and just here to talk a little more about the Building for God Community Foundation here and the work that they do in Baltimore.
So we've partnered with Building for God Foundation. I'm now on the board. And, one of the things that attracted me to this group is that they really support charities that, not the big charities, the ones that have multiple layers of people and ability to fundraise. These are people that are really making a difference in our community, but don't have those abilities to get over the edge with the money. And so we support those people, or most of these organizations are places that you would probably not have heard of. And it's a group of guys that go all the way back to 8th grade basketball with Michael Brooks. And he was at St. Pius, and I was at Cathedral, and we played each other. And then he went to Camaraderie, and I went to Loyola, and we've known each other for all these years. And Tom went to Loyola with me, and it's just this close group of guys and women that work together, and we're actually very proud to be a part of them from a support standpoint, from a media standpoint, to give some exposure. As well as just personally being on the board.
Absolutely, and as we talked about it, just the need is there in Baltimore for the services they provide. So, yeah, great for all of us to be involved with that. Bill and Tom, thanks for coming up. We're going to send to a quick break right now, but we got more coverage of the 2019 Baltimore 10 Miler when we come back right after these short messages. Welcome back into the Baltimore 10-miler. Seems like feel safe in saying most of the runners have completed the course at this point. They are back in and enjoying time with their friends and families in the Runners Village. The party is underway right outside the Maryland Zoo here in Druid Hill Park.
And it's a party. That is a fact. You can see people milling on in. They're looking around. Where do I get my beverage?
They
Where
just
do I
keep
hear
coming.
the band? Where do I meet my friends? Where do I get the fruit? Where do I party?
What a great day.
That's what it is.
Great day in Baltimore.
And a little while ago we heard from the winner of this year's race, Jason Ardenoy. He has a running group, and we heard from his group. And one of the things they said that kind of stuck with me is that it's not only about their group and their group finishing the fastest or one of their members winning the race like like Jeremy did. It's about cheering on fellow runners from Baltimore and putting out that positive energy and motivating everybody to keep on going and to finish, and then join them in the Runners Village to party.
And it's a community, and anybody can join. You just show up at one of their runs on a Saturday there in Canton and start running with them.
And you know who has joined the running community? The fine people at Athletes Serving Athletes. And I know Aaron McPherson is standing by with some of those fine folks. Right, Aaron?
Yes. We talked with some of the people from Athletes Serving Athletes earlier, and now you can take a look at this big group. Now this is some of the people from the organization Athletes Serving Athletes, an amazing organization. We actually have the founder here, David. Now, David, you said that you felt the need to bring this idea, this organization here to Baltimore. Talk to me about that.
So about 11 years ago, I saw a story about Rick and Dick Hoyt, a father and son out of Boston, Massachusetts, and I was left on my couch crying and very inspired, and started looking around Baltimore to see who was doing that. And the really short story was that no one was doing this as a incorporated organization. So we started, and our mission is to elevate the quality of life for individuals with limited to no mobility by empowering them to train and compete in mainstream running events. And the running and the training has so many benefits for everyone involved. But at the core, what we hope is that these amazing people feel that they belong in our community.
And it seems like this really is your own community, this own family here with this group.
It is. We could all have, our life is better when we get out and we get active and we socialize. The studies are off the chart, whether you're a better mom, dad, brother, sister, student, co-worker. And running can be tough sometimes. It can be very, at times, narcissistic, and can be very hard to do when we're struggling with some of the pressures of everyday life. But when you are doing it with a group of people who are loving and caring, it just is a lot easier to get off the couch and to stay active. And some of the people that are in our program, you won't find a better quality, optimistic. Some of the trials and tribulations that these folks go through on a daily basis are just nothing short of inspiring.
Absolutely, and I know a lot of these people here are runners. Now we do have to go to break in just a second, but just wanted to show you some of these athletes and the runners who are here. Just a really incredible organization with Athletes Serving Athletes. But we do have to go to that break, so we will be in just a second.
Pretty picture again in Druid Hill Park on a day where we've seen a lot of them. The running of the 2019 Baltimore 10-miler. What a day.
Love that new drone shot we have.
That is amazing.
It's great. You really get the sense of how many people are out here and taking part in this 10-miler, the 12th annual 10-miler, and now is the party. And they're going to be partying for quite a while. You hear the band. You're going to be hearing bells for personal records. You don't have smell-o-vision.
They can't smell.
That's not a thing yet.
But
it's cooking out here.
The barbecue is right over there.
That's right.
And it is cooking. But right now we're going to send it that way, which is where the start-finish line is, and that is where we find Megan Knight and Lynette Charles monitoring the situation there. How's it going?
Not too bad. It's going, It's funny. Like, this is the time of day where things start to thin out a little bit across this area as everybody crosses the finish line and heads over to the party.
Yeah, and it's getting warm out here. I'm not going to lie. That sun feels good, but it's also hot. So I can only imagine what it must feel like for these guys as they're getting ready to cross the finish line.
Exactly, and I think actually some of the runners have been experiencing that, the sunshine hitting them, because some of them have been exhausted crossing as well, unfortunately.
Probably a little bit of dehydration.
Exactly.
You know, it's hard to stay hydrated on a 10-mile run. I mean, they have the water stations and the gel packets and things like that, but still, when you've got the sun blaring on you like that, and I don't know how shady the course is, I imagine probably not terribly shady.
Right. Yeah.
So it's probably a lot of sun that you're running in.
Exactly, and then a couple of people that just passed over the finish line, they actually got some fluids as soon as they hit it, and we actually saw for our own selves how somebody had to get carried over the finish line. So again, it's rough, but the bottom line, they finished. You know what I'm saying? They didn't give up. They
wouldn't let them give up either. They carried that person over the finish line.
Because they could have just pulled them off to the side, but no, they wanted them to go to the finish line.
You're this far. You get this close. You want people to be able to finish that race and say that they finished that race.
Exactly. So again, like you said, Megan Knight, it is hot. You can see like the sun like beaming down. It's like right there.
Literally, it's right there.
It is literally right there. I couldn't find my hat. Megan Knight and I drove in together. Like we parked the same area. I was like, Megan Knight, I need my hat. I need my hat, but I couldn't find my hat.
Yeah. So
I'm
brought your beach hat.
I know. So I'm suffering right now because it is. It's like beaming down right on my forehead. Like I have little beads like happening at this point.
Are we even allowed to complain though?
I know. Are we complaining?
Can we? Yeah, I think we are.
Okay, just nix everything I just said and let's start over.
We feel great. This is wonderful. Should we step out of the way so maybe we can see some of the fine runners here?
Well, Megan, the only reason why I did that is just to compare, what they're going through, like how fabulous they are and how horrible a person I am. That's all I did.
You're not a horrible person, but it is warm. I mean, whether you're just standing here cheering on the runners or if you yourself are running. So again, props to these people, came out here today. They were on a mission to run 10 miles.
And they did it. They're doing it.
And they did. Whether they've done it many times before, maybe this is their first time running.
Exactly. And my thing is that, if as long as you get over the finish line, like cross the finish line, like I don't care how you do it. Do you know what I mean? If you're walking over it, if not, like it's just, it's great. You finished and you accomplished something.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've got to feel pretty good that, we're not even at noon yet and they've just ran 10 miles.
Exactly. Yep. They just run 10 miles, and after they get over, there's a party waiting for them.
That's
right.
Exciting. Yes, I forgot about the party.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
And it's also happy to see, like, when they're coming down this far, they see the finish line, so you can see the smiles on their faces as well.
Yeah, I'm
a lot of
looking
them
right now.
waving to the camera. Yeah.
Yep. Or they make that big punch, that big push to go across the finish line.
Exactly.
I love watching that too.
Oh, what about the 3 people that we saw? It was the trio, and they held hands, and they went across the finish line.
That was a moment.
That was.
That
was a moment. That was. There was a few times where I got a little tear in my eye.
Yeah, it was very nice. All right, we got to take one more break, but don't go anywhere because we want to finish strong here.
Yes.
WMAR 2 News' coverage of the Baltimore 10 Mile. We'll see you in just a bit.
Okay, and we are back at the Baltimore 10-miler. We are almost done with 3 hours of coverage here on Maryland's first television station, and we gotta wrap it up.
Yeah, what a fantastic 3 hours it
What
has
a day.
been. The charitable aspect of this race, it is so huge. We wanted to recap some of the numbers here. The Signal 13 Foundation, we already showed you over $3,900 raised for that foundation.
That's one fast police officer.
That is correct. With this year's donation for the Maryland Zoo, over $70,000 has been raised over the years for the zoo. The Mark Raganese Family Trust, we already told you the amazing individual Mark is tragically paralyzed, a member of the Corrigan Sports crew a number of years back. Today, $10,947 raised. All the charities combined this year, over $25,000 raised for charity. Unbelievable.
Incredible.
Great job to everyone involved.
What a day. 5,000 runners out here, and everybody's kind of hanging out now in Druid Hill Park. They finished the day. It's time to party, time to celebrate with the family and friends, maybe some of whom did not run the Baltimore 10-miler today, but they're still welcome to celebrate as well. Just a gorgeous day here. And I want to thank all of our crew at WMAR2 News who put together this broadcast, the people that you don't necessarily see in front of the camera, but behind the scenes, I'm telling you, there's a lot that goes into putting on a race like this and a 3-hour broadcast on a Saturday morning. So, as always, great job to the best team in local television, WMAR2.
They're here behind the cameras. They are here in the trucks. They are back at our station in Towson.
Make it all work.
Everybody does such a great job each and every year, and we are so thrilled to bring you this 10-miler.
It's fun.
Each and every year. It's fun, and we had a really competitive race.
We did.
Jeremy Ardenoy wins for the men's side, Natalie Adeback on the women's side.
Yeah, so we had a competitive race there. We had some fun times. We had some great moments. We raised a lot of money for charity.
That's the biggest part.
We got to start. I mean, look, we had a drone this year. So, once again, got to wrap it up and send you back to regular programming. But thanks for watching WMAR2 News coverage of the 2019 Baltimore 10-miler. There's your winner on the men's side.
Very good. And we